come a long way since those early days. Familiar names now to all of us, the Richardsons. Remember when we first saw Kerry Burtnick, and last year a Canadian champion in Halifax. Pat Ryan, two-time Canadian champion. Russ Howard, Harry Hard, and Eddie the Wrench Wernick. This week in Kamloops, BC, we're at the point where some teams will have to start soaring like an eagle if they hope to be there on the weekend. And one of those teams from Nova Scotia, Brian Rafuse. He's at the critical point, and the team from Bridgewater has to go where Eagles dare. Well, we've reached the halfway point now of a very long week, so it should be downhill to Sunday's championship, but it's going to be uphill for many teams trying to qualify at the Labatt Brier. And one of those teams hoping to take home the Labatt Brier tankard is Nova Scotia's Brian Rafuse, looking to win his province's third Canadian Men's Curling Championship. He got off to a great start, while PEI, well, Peter McDonald from Summerside, he had lost his first 3 games, but now the island is on a roll. With this, they win their third in a row. Make the final 9-6 PEI a winner and handing Rafuse a critical third loss. In other games on Tuesday's 9th draw, it was battle of teams 4 and 1, and Kevin Martin and Alberta, a winner over Newfoundland and Frank O'Driscoll, while Manitoba stole 1, stole 2, 4, 3, and they won 10-0, stole everything against the Yukon Northwest Territories, and Barry McPhee from right here in Kamloops, he picks up the win 6-4 over New Brunswick. And yes, now we're starting to see some teams soar away from the rest of the field here in Kamloops. Heading into draw 10, Alberta, Manitoba, as expected, at 5-1, Quebec tough at 4-1, Newfoundland, BC 4-2, and then the teams at 500. Saskatchewan slips below 500, and then Northern Ontario, Dave McKinnis still looking for win number 1. It's our featured game in the 10th draw. Nova Scotia against Alberta. Rafuse against Martin from here in Kamloops, BC.
The 1996 Labatt Brier is brought to you by Labatt, good things brewing. The Ford Motor Company of Canada Limited. And by CIBC Trust, your will and estate planning and investment management professionals.
As we're finding out this week, Kamloops is many things, but considering its history, Kamloops and surrounding area is still very much about cattle and ranching. Hello everyone and welcome back to Kamloops and TSN's continuing coverage of this, the 1996 Labatt Brier. And welcome to the Harper Ranch. We're just east of Kamloops and we're on the Harper Ranch, which is 50,000 acres of grazing land, and at high season, well, here you'd find some 2,500 head of cattle. Coming up in our featured game this afternoon, well, it is east against west. It's Nova Scotia and Brian Rafuse from Bridgewater, first time in a national championship against the former Canadian champion, Kevin Martin from the Otwell Curling Club in Edmonton. And with their thoughts now, my two partners, Linda and Ray.
Cute little buckaroo, isn't he, Linda? Well, you can see what's happened in this field so far. Kevin Martin and Jeff Stoughton have really started to get away from everybody, and it's really interesting. We made the comment early in the week about the number of Purple Hearts in your first Brier, and it's really becoming obvious, Linda. For example, in the top 5 teams, there are 29 Purple Hearts. In the lower half, there's only 10. So the experience of Briers really count. Now, Kevin Martin, for sure, is legitimate. We know that. He's a Canadian champion. And Jeff Stoughton, we can see that. And also Quebec. They look very, very strong to me. But this game today, Brian Rafuse, to have any chance to get a spot, is going to have to put the lasso around a very tough cowpoke. Linda?
And what's tough about it is with Kevin Martin, you never know which Kevin Martin's going to show up. Is it the sharpshooter, the big gun from the west, who's going to play the takeout style? Or is it the man with the golden touch and the very quiet game? Well, when you're not sure, it's hard to know how to defend or go after a team like that. I think Brian Rafuse cannot afford to get behind early because we know Alberta can defend. But also you can't play it too cautiously. You do have to go, probably by the third or fourth end, you'll have to see Nova Scotia play that aggressive style.
So, Victor, saddle up and get back here. There's going to be a good game.
Linda, Ray, the scenery is absolutely spectacular. Our thanks to Raymond and Pat Kerr and the Harper Ranch for their hospitality. And just a reminder, the 6th annual Great Cattle Drive will be passing through Kamloops the middle of July, including a Cowboy Olympics. So if you're in the area, you just might want to check it out and bring your cowboy hat along with you. When we come back, it is Nova Scotia against Alberta as our coverage of this Labatt Brier continues. Happy trails to you on TSN.
Excuse me, how many ways could you eat rice?
Steamed rice.
Chicken fried rice.
So there's only 2 ways to eat rice?
Yes.
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 This is a bowl of Kellogg's Rice Krispies cereal. Does it give you any other ideas? Apparently, you're among the few people who haven't heard that each Kellogg's Rice Krispies is made with a real grain of wholesome rice.
They're good.
So let us ask you just one more question. What the heck did you think it was made with?
This isn't going to make us look stupid, is it?
The job was to build a tough truck. So we put the new F-150 through hard labor and came up with features that work. The only super cab with a standard third door. The only 60/40 split rear bench. More footroom, more headroom, and the only standard dual airbags in its class. We figure if it can handle the punishment from 9 to 5, it should work just fine on weekends. The all-new 1997 Ford F-150. Strength after strength after strength.
We make maple leaf wieners for Courtney, who will only eat Mr. Broccoli if he hasn't touched Mr. Gravy. We make maple leaf wieners for Tim, who says peas explode in his mouth. And for Caitlin, whose scrambled eggs must be shaped like little boats. Maple leaf wieners have a taste made especially for kids. For Kenny, who won't eat anything with sauce, and Jason, who won't eat anything without sauce, there will always be maple leaf.
Aha! Oh, hi. I'm using this ordinary telescope to take a look at auto repairs. My hunch is we're going to see something kind of interesting here, and look, there it is right now. At some places, you're not allowed to see what's going on with your car. However, at Midas, things are completely different. Look at this. They take you under the car. They let you see just what needs fixing and what can wait. You're in the loop, I tell you. Midas, the way it should be.
The Riverside Coliseum in Kamloops, British Columbia is the site of this, the 1996 Labatt Brier, the 4 sheets in play. Our featured game between Nova Scotia and Alberta will be played on sheet B, second from the left. We've been there before, but has the ice changed? Let's find out now. Let's read the ice with Ray, brought to you by CIBC Trust.
Shorty Jenkins and Hans Vutrick are giving us a great ice surface. Let's talk about how quick it is from this hog line to this tee line, 23.5 to 24. To get around the center guards, it's been changing from day to day. 3 feet around that center guard with both turns. Around the corners, today, 3 feet as well. You can bury on both the corners. Now, all the finish is late, and by that I mean it'll come hold, and as it dies, it breaks quick, so you can certainly get behind. When you're hitting a stone from the outside in, especially with this outside in shot, it runs quite straight, 2 or 3 inches coming off the center, about a foot and 4 inches. The slide path gets pretty quick, as we've mentioned many times. There's no frost problem. It's a good surface. This should be a good game.
Here are the other games on the ice in draw 10. Newfoundland at 4-2 coming off the loss to Alberta against Prince Edward Island. They've won 3 in a row. That's our feature game, of course. Nova Scotia against Alberta. Northern Ontario, the team from Timmins, still looking for their first win against a very consistent-looking team from Buckingham, Quebec, and Ontario against Saskatchewan. Critical for the team from Moose Jaw. Really can't afford to lose their 4th, and there you see the teams with the byes here in draw 10. Glenn Josephson and Don Bartlett. Dave Slowenwhite and Sean Broda are the seconds. The thirds are Kurt Palmer and Don Walchuk. And the skips. For Nova Scotia, from the Ridgewater Curling Club, Brian Rafuse, and from the Otwell in Edmonton, Alberta's Kevin Martin. Red Stones do have hammer in the first end of play throughout round robin.
Anytime?
And so Nova Scotia will have last rock. That's Brian Rafuse. Kevin Martin then to throw first, and the first from his lead, Don Bartlett.
Well, I talked to Brian Rafuse and before the game started, and he said to me that, Ray, we're going to try and stay with him early. I'm not going to do anything very fancy. So it'll be interesting. Your opening comments were really right on as far as I'm concerned. You never know what to expect from Kevin, and we've watched him now for many events, many bonspiels. And one day he comes out and he runs up and down the ice just like a rabbit. And then all of a sudden, the next game, you expect him to play that, that very simple style, and away he goes. He chases you early, so you never know what to expect from him. And that's, I think, part of his strength. He keeps everybody a little off balance.
No, exactly. In the game against the Territories, which was 2 games ago for Alberta, the score was 11-6. So they played lots of stones in play, whereas the last game, Alberta beat Newfoundland, and it was 4-1, and there were lots of blank ends. So how do you go out and scout a team when you see the last 2 games being totally opposite styles of play?
Shot.
Well, the first rock Kevin threw up in front, and that's an early indication that he might want to close things a little bit. I think it's great that he plays this way. He just keeps you off balance a little bit, as I mentioned, and
we got to move it.
We know that he can throw the big weight shots. We know that. Interestingly, in the game that he played against Manitoba that we televised on Sunday night, Vic, he was saying about his last shot, he said he was very honest and frank about it. He had a chance to hit and stick or just tap a rock back, and he said he knew the minute he let it go, he'd just thrown it badly. He put it away, put it out, and never had a chance with it. And he said it very clearly that I just threw a horrible shot.
I got it.
In that game in particular, they kind of kicked it back and forth with Jeff taking an early lead and then Kevin getting control. So it's kind of interesting to watch him, how he approaches things. But he said to me in that game that he was wishing that Jeff's rock had curled a little bit more and left him the button, because he wanted to draw to the button as opposed to having to play a quiet tap back, because he just wasn't confident on the ice that particular game. In other words, he wasn't throwing it as cleanly as he expects to throw it.
Nova Scotia lead, Glenn Josephson, his second stone, the native of St. John's, Newfoundland, and they're not getting the kind of finish right now, it would seem, off that shot, Linda.
It's still very early, as Ray mentioned. There's going to be good movement. Actually, there is the most movement in the first draw of the day when the building's a little cooler and the ice makers can control the ice. But I think as the game progresses and the pebble breaks down, we'll see more and more movement.
Last time we saw Alberta was, in fact, I think that game on the Sunday night. And Sean Broda, if I'm not mistaken, didn't have his best game, Linda.
And he is the one with the least experience at the national level. Of course, we've got Don Walchuk as a world champion, and Kevin Martin and Don Bartlett as world runner-up. Sean is fairly new to the scene, but he's played pretty well, pretty consistently in the other games.
Quality supervisor for Michelin Tire.
Whoa, clean. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Yeah. Whoa, it could be good. Whoa. Okay.
Don't wait. Try to get the roll. Nose isn't bad.
I know you both tease me about those wins and losses, but it's that time of the week when you start to maybe look at losses. We saw for the first time ever in a Scott Tournament of Hearts where 5 losses got teams into a tiebreaker last week or 2 weeks ago in Thunder Bay. That might hold true here, but you're starting, as Ray suggested to you, Linda, to see the teams start to separate. Alberta and Manitoba in particular. Quebec will try to stay close, so that could be a third team. And then, of course, a BC and Barry McPhee would be the fourth one right now. There's maybe where the separation might occur, those four teams pulling away.
Seems to be that way at the moment. Of course, for Nova Scotia, again, it's not necessarily just the total number of losses, but they have 2 losses in a row. A very tough loss to Quebec in a close game. It'll be a bit of a heartbreaker. Don Westfall made a fabulous last shot in that game. You really don't want to keep that slide. They're playing pretty well, but you have to get it back on track
take
now.
2 corners. Leave them be, it's fine. Okay.
And by the same token, there's Prince Edward Island. They lost their first 3. Peter McDonald has come back with 3 straight wins to even it up to 500. But, boy, as you said, Ray, you don't want to get the proverbial back against the wall early. You want to maybe spread out some of those losses. Don't want to lose them all so quickly.
Yeah, I think everybody has in their mind that they know they can maybe lose 4 games and still have a little piece at some kind of a playoff, especially under the new Page system. But if you get to those 4 losses like Ontario has and, you know, like Northern Ontario has, and it really, really does put your back to the wall.
Room, clean. How's the weight? Okay.
Yep.
We're lots of room.
Room.
Hurry.
Alberta drawing to lie 2.
Yep.
Fortunately for Nova Scotia, these are a little spread out, so the 4-foot part is still open to them.
And Nova Scotia in this first end of the 10th draw. The team from Bridgewater does have last draw.
Well, with 2 corners, Kevin was forced to defend that situation by going around the corner, and a good shot, so
Yes.
chance for Kurt Palmer to
Weight. Room.
get down,
Slide
tap
clean.
it back a little bit if you
Slide.
can.
Oh, no bounce. Wait. Room. Wait there. Yes.
Just trying to freeze it on the face of it.
Yeah. Okay, room. Well, leave it. No big bounce.
The guard. I don't think we should be surprised that Don Walchuk would be the best among thirds.
He's such a wonderful shooter. The thing we talked about is him and Kevin working together in the new positions of Don Walchuk playing third as opposed to second, and that has also worked very well. So Don has brought a lot to the team, obviously in his execution, but also in the house playing third.
I agree, Linda, and I think that Kevin really seems as relaxed as I've ever seen him. He's
got a curl,
loose
Tom.
and seems to be having some fun out there, and that, of course, is also a big part of the game. And I think Don can be credited with that kind of atmosphere. He's a real character, quite a prankster.
Nice shot.
It's a long guard, though. It gives Brian Rafuse a chance to get around behind it. I would have thought he might have played it a little tighter.
Room. Yeah, that's heavy. Big room.
Obviously, if you're going to beat one of these top teams, you really have to execute right from lead down to skip. There just can't be any holes. You've had a couple of chances in this end now to get something going, and you're just letting them slip away. The game, let's remember, and those of you that maybe don't play the game or have never played the game.
We almost got to come back to this. Just roll in the open a little bit, and then we lay 2.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah. Well, this is good. This is, well, I don't know.
I'm just thinking bad stuff could happen.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's play back to this one.
Yep.
And if he does...
All right, Linda, Don Walchuk suggested you go top 4, and then Kevin said bad things could happen. What's that?
Well, the bad things could be a promotion to try and get rid of Shot Stone, the yellow one. And, of course, if you set the yellows up too close together, maybe even a double attempt is possible. And, of course, second and third shots would be those red stones. And when you don't have the hammer, you don't want to take a lot of risks.
Top 4.
Well, they're changing their mind. I guess they're thinking that if they get them in the right angle, that the raceback won't be there. But that was the reasoning before they went to throw it.
Top 4.
Ray, it would seem to me if you're going to do what you initially want to do, that goes against what you've always maintained, is you've got to get there first.
Got a lot of room?
Well, he's worrying. What they were worrying about was the yellow onto red rays on the other side, the one I illustrated in for you. If they put the rock beside the two rocks beside each other.
Hard.
You want to get this buried, though, otherwise Brian has a chance at a roll.
Okay.
Okay.
It's good. Actually, that's not too bad.
That's the skip's rationale. And that's something you skip. That's the prerogative of a skip.
About that for me
to be able to rationalize that way.
That was my other plan. I remember saying that a few times.
You hear all kinds of things, Vicky, here. Yeah, that's not too bad. You know, that's better than it looks. Well, I kind of had that in mind. Okay, that'll work.
Freeze. I think we got the pin if we make it.
They tighten it up a little bit, the ice now. Because they're both those, the third's stone, this one by Martin, they're well by that count. Brian Rafuse, the first for the Nova Scotia skip here in the first end, and he does have last rock.
Just room. No bounce. No bounce. No. Don't bounce it.
It's hard to make a freeze against Kevin Martin because if you're not frozen absolutely perfect, he squishes you out no problem.
What do you want?
Well, you've got the top back end there, don't you? You've got Martin at skip, and then, of course, Walchuk at third.
They're on the beak. Just through the house. Probably a lot of ice.
Yeah, we were all watching the draws come down, and they were brooming edge of 4 foot for the draws, so that did look like a lot of ice to move the stone, so we did tighten the ice up.
Oh, stay close. Stay close. No, not yet. It should finish. Well.
Just push it through, he said. Like that. Terrific stuff.
Well, you don't have to know very much about curling. All you have to know is that the closest to the button
That's quicker
counts.
than this morning.
So if you hit this one on the nose, you'll get a single point.
Yeah, it's like a spin.
But you're right. You go back to that first center line guard put up by Don Bartlett and Alberta. And if Nova Scotia in their lead, Glenn Josephson could have made the drawing behind and not slipped to the back of the 12. It's a different end.
Just clean. Clean. Yep. Clean. Yep. Clean. Yep. Shot.
Just like that, for the single, Brian Rafuse has his one. Alberta has the hammer when we come back to Kamloops.
At first glance, this muffler looks like most other mufflers, except for one important feature. Only UAP Napa mufflers meet the top quality standards of UAP Napa. UAP Napa, the right brand for the job.
Natural ability can only take you so far. Equipment counts for a lot. I'm always checking out new ideas. You have to stay competitive. That's what I like about Pert Plus. Cleans and conditions in one step. No messing with 2 bottles. I get great results. No hassle, no fuss. Eventually, we all cross the finish. The winners just find a better way to get there.
Pert Plus, great hair, no fuss. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. In just minutes a day, your thighs can look like
2 mouth-watering patties and a rich
hypoallergenic base that makes your skin feel like
toupee in a can. Gets rid of all spots. In fact, it looks just like
fabulous fake fur. Fantastic for my rump. Now easier to handle with a Roast Wrangler.
Life can be heavy. Keep it light. Clear your mind with a clearly great new taste. Check out new 7-Up Light.
Face it, no other razor shaves closer.
or with more comfort than Gillette's Sensor XL. Soft microfins that protect your skin and individually spring-mounted twin blades that adjust to your face. No razor feels more comfortable during your shave or leaves your face smoother after. Gillette's Sensor XL. And try Gillette Series Aftershave Gel, a soothing gel that moisturizes your skin.
You know?
That is scary. Let's play ball.
Let's start our updates here in Draw 10 with Ontario against Saskatchewan. Bob Ingram from Ridgetown, 1-3 against Rod Montgomery Moose Jaw, 2-3. Final stone, Ontario with hammer. Hit and stick for the single and one for Ontario. Saskatchewan to have the hammer playing 2. Northern Ontario against Quebec, Dave McInnes, the McIntyre, and Timmins 0-5 against Don Westfall Buckingham at 4-1. Northern Ontario with Last Rock, hit for a deuce, and the early lead on Quebec. Newfoundland against PEI, Frank O'Driscoll, St. John's 4-2. Peter McDonald 3-3, the Silver Fox Curling and Yacht Club in Summerside. O'Driscoll with hammer, coming off the morning loss, up to it, and stays right there for 1. PEI to have hammer playing 2. Well, thank you very much, and well done. Thank you very much to all of you here in Kamloops. We're having a wonderful week here at the Riverside Coliseum and TSN's coverage of the Labatt Brier. Draw 10, Nova Scotia scored 1 with Last Rock, and so Alberta with hammer here as we start the second.
Hurry. That looks good. Good shot.
It's always interesting when I watch Kevin Martin put up these guards. First stone in the rings belongs to Nova Scotia. When Kevin Martin puts up a guard, it is a corner guard, but he never moves it too far off center. That is a plan because normally the play doesn't go too far to the wings when you have that first stone in. I think that one's a little closer to center than he wanted.
A little tighter. It's interesting that Brian is going around with the other turn. He could come down and just tap his stone back.
Don Bartlett, the Alberta lead in his second stone, and you point out, Ray, I was kind to Bob Ingram at 1-3. He's really 1-4.
Yeah, that game out there is really a key game for both them. 4 losses will, I think, will get you some piece of something, but 5 may not. There's a double.
It's lovely.
Routine, eh?
Just looking for the nose hit. Want to stay right there to prevent Alberta from coming around that guard. He's coming around it with the 1 turn.
Dave Sloan-White.
Yep. Yeah. All right, okay.
Very nice shot.
Okay.
Just a reminder, you can reach us on the internet. There's our address from Marge Jordan, Portage La Prairie. Why are 2 hacks needed? Wouldn't it make sense just to have 1 hack? right on the center line.
A lot of room, too.
Well, actually, there's been a lot of talk about that, if you just had the one hack, you'd be throwing from a different angle a little bit, and you only need the one hack, and that's been mentioned before. So it does make a little bit of sense. Obviously, they started with two hacks. Actually, at one time, Linda, if you remember, the hacks were transportable. In other words, they moved them from side to side, you know? So you definitely would come at the stone from a different angle, though.
Yeah, with the two hacks, of course, a right-hander playing from the left-hand side, and in this case, the left-hander playing from the right-hand side. It's the stone that always starts on center line, and that has been the rule. The stone must start on center line and then continue out to the target broom. But they are looking at a movable hack, a single hack, lots of things to see if it would simplify the, I guess, the ice makers and the way the house is built.
No, you don't need it. It's heavy. No, just leave it. Leave it. We got a piece. No bounce. Okay.
Ooh, if we can jackpot one in there now.
Sean Broda, who works for Sterling Crane.
Lots of weight.
Hurry. It's a very delicate shot, trying to tap the red stone that's right in front of the Alberta rock and move it.
Wow. No roll. Great shot.
Very nice.
Boy. And as you suggested, Ray, great finish, late finish.
Great shot by Sean. Brian's going to run off the front one. Those two are in a position that the two in the house are in a position he can make a double. Kevin will probably protect it a couple of times. Then split the rings.
Whoa. Good.
Guarding the two in the rings. Probably do this a couple of times, depending on what Brian Rafuse does.
The fifth Brier appearance for Don Walchuk.
Whoa, then. Line's good. Longer the better. Whoa. Whoa.
By the longer the better, he means don't get it too close so it can be run back on the two in the house. Leave it farther away from the rings.
Shot done.
Running this rock back onto these two, hoping to get them both.
Yep. Please.
Please, I love it.
Very nice.
Great shot. Must be those gloves.
Kurt Palmer.
Please, I love that.
Well, I think the thrower, Kurt, called them off, so I think the skip was really wanting them to sweep. Would say anything to get that one swept.
We had the opportunity to do one of Brian's games the other day, and he's a pleasure. He's very casual out there, very relaxed, it seems, and quite humorous.
Hurry for line. Okay.
Like Kevin Martin, Brian Rafuse is an ice maker.
Hard.
At the Bridgewater Curling Club.
Guys. Hard. Hard. Really hard. Really hard. Okay. Right up.
Great brushing.
It was tremendous sweeping. It started to get into that 4-foot bend and really swing.
That ticked the
guard?
guard?
Looked like it might hit the guard, and they got it by.
Brian's going to try the run back.
The hair less. Yeah.
It's interesting. There is the corner exposed.
Yeah, oh no, that's a tough in turn. This is just as easy.
And it's interesting, Linda, because you can see a corner of it. Pick it out. They'll just put it back, man. You can't save the shooter and pick it out.
No.
First stone for the Nova Scotia skip here in the second. Drive it back, catch the corner.
Hey, this is just as easy as that.
He's right.
He's right on.
Double after double for Nova Scotia.
Congratulations from Don Walchuk as Brian went by him.
That's good. Thanks. There, now we got a red one to run back.
That's right. Now it's my stone out there.
That's confidence.
Let's not take this thing deep. Okay. Line's pretty good. Hurt.
Yep.
Hard.
Watch it come to center line.
Hard.
Row.
Sean Broda closest to the stone. Ton Bartlett.
Well, better get some separation.
Now they'll
Come on.
switch around.
What's that?
Better get some separation, is it?
Kevin watched how well Brian Rafuse made the
too
first
much,
run
isn't it?
back, so he said get them farther apart
that's
so
it.
the run back isn't so easy.
The series of comments were interesting. Now he said it's my rock, and it is his rock that he could drive back. And this time, of course, he hits it back properly and maybe just exchange them so he can have the stone in there covered.
The last one for Nova Scotia and Rafuse.
No.
Alberta
never.
has hammer.
Check.
And by.
But with that outside in shot and that kind of weight, you just can't get outside at all, and that's what Brian did. Just got a little bit full of the broom of the target line. Here's comment.
Oh my. I took the microphones away on us down here. One less thing to trip over.
Yeah.
We got backing and stuff.
You got backing.
Final stone. Open draw for two for Alberta here in the second.
Shot, Kevin.
And Alberta. Kevin Martin, with a record of 5-1, picks up the deuce here in the second to take the 2-1 lead over Nova Scotia and Brian Rafuse.
Follow my out turn down.
Nova Scotia hammer.
No, a rope.
Oh, you had that
in the
thing.
third.
We're off to start in the first one.
Yeah.
But I figure, we gotta go around it now.
As we update the game between Northern Ontario and Quebec as they play. The second Northern Ontario opened with hammer, scored 2. It's the final stone for the Quebec skip, Don Westfall, Buckingham Curling Club at 4-1. With his first stone, made an angle raise to the top of the 8, which looks like it is now the shot stone. So this appears to be a draw for a possible 2.
And as the rings come into view for our viewers, you'll see how many rocks, once again with this Quebec team, how many rocks are in play. They love to come around, and they go around everything, and there's a nice draw. I think it's for 2, Vic. I could be right.
We'll wait for the indication from Dan Lemery, but it appears to be 2. Quebec had to battle for each of them, though. So they're even at 2 apiece there. Northern Ontario, Dave McInnes from Timmins, looking for his first win. He's among the leaders, Don Westfall, here in Kamloops.
We make maple leaf wieners for Courtney, who will only eat Mr. Broccoli if he hasn't touched Mr. Gravy. We make maple leaf wieners for Tim, who says peas explode in his mouth. And for Caitlin, whose scrambled eggs must be shaped like little boats. Maple leaf wieners have a taste made especially for kids. For Kenny, who won't eat anything with sauce, and Jason, who won't eat anything without sauce, there will always be maple leaf.
I'll have the chili.
Chili? You should know better.
And I'll have the fries.
Fries? You should know better.
And And now I'll have Tums Ultra.
New Tums Ultra is our highest strength ever. It goes to work in seconds, neutralizing stomach acid to relieve heartburn and indigestion fast. And unlike many antacids, Tums Ultra has calcium.
Something your body uses anyway. You'll like that.
I'll have the chili. I know. I should know.
Owning a home today in this economic environment.
This home is the one we're going to stay in the rest of our lives.
I think you feel very fortunate if you do own one. When we think about renewing our mortgage, we're not that great at it. That's what we look to the bank for, because you want to make sure that you make the right decision.
To see how you can be home free faster, get expert help, the right plan, and guaranteed competitive rates. See your CIBC personal banker or call now.
We'd have a bit of a barn burner when the mortgage is paid off.
At CIBC, we're working to see what you see.
Maybe you think only those jet set types need a Nokia cellular phone.
Hi, it's me. Flight's delayed.
Well, now Nokia's making cellular phones so easy.
Late. Can I skip my bath?
They're practically child's play.
Attention, Flight 11 is delayed.
Can I call you back?
With Nokia's big, easy-to-read screens, last number redial, and sleek designs.
No, don't hold dinner. I'm eating my body weight in hot dogs. No, wait up. You gotta tuck me in.
So get set to join the jet set. Nokia, Europe's leading cellular phone, also made in America, connecting people.
Let's update the game. Ontario against Saskatchewan. Ontario 1-4, Saskatchewan 2-3. Ontario opened with a single final stone. Rod Montgomery of Moose Jaw. Boy, that's exactly what Ray was saying. Those outside-in shots run straight, and he just barely got a piece of steal of one for Ontario. Newfoundland against PEI as they play the second. Newfoundland 4-2, PEI 3-3. Newfoundland opened with one final stone for Peter McDonald. Oh, he just had to catch it. Well, he caught the rub, and that forced him to the outside, and that was a tough draw either way. Newfoundland steals one to lead 2-0. Alberta scored 2 with hammer as we go to the third, and now it's Nova Scotia with last rock to play 3. This is the lead from Bridgewater. Glenn Josephson.
Kevin threw the first one in this time, and we just had an exchange of stones. The weight indication.
This is pretty typical of Kevin, even when he's played aggressively as he has really in these first 2 ends. Once he gets a little bit of a lead and doesn't have last rock, he doesn't like to take risks. He waits for the opponent to take a chance. Then he might make an aggressive come around perhaps, but definitely likes to keep it a little more open at this stage.
Well, that's really interesting. You know, that's what we talked about. I talked about in my opening of the show today, is that fact that experience really does count. You can see that somehow, I don't know why it is. Well, I guess maybe I do. All of a sudden, you play all season, and you're playing for yourself, and all of a sudden they put Ontario or Northern Ontario or even Canada, and when you go to the Worlds, on your back, and it's altogether a different thing. You need the experience, and it can have a, you don't know why, but it's there, Linda. And that really stands out clear that the teams that have had previous Brier experience, players that have been to Brier before, are the ones that seem more comfortable out there, and obviously their records are.
Well, it does show that there's so much more to the game than just throwing the stone. There's all the things that go around an event like this, the distractions, the pressures, and when you've been here once before, and in some other national titles would help as well. Mixed, we talk about juniors, helps a little bit, but definitely if you've been to one of these events before, it helps you so much the next time to cope with those other things around the event.
Boy, Sean.
Not impossible, though, of course, to win first time out.
Oh, no, of course.
And on the ice, did it in 91, Kevin Martin.
Which way?
Ontario against Saskatchewan, a live update for you. Third end. Ontario with last rock scored one, stole one, of course. Now the final stone for Saskatchewan. The skip, Rod Montgomery from Moose Jaw. There is one corner guard, one stone lying covered, sitting at the back of the 8.
Clean. Yep.
Looking for the blank. And they'll sit there for one, so Saskatchewan's on the board with a single in the third.
You mentioned that 91 Brier that Kevin Martin won, Vic. It's kind of interesting. I'm sure he'd love to win this one to get back to the Worlds, because he lost that Worlds that year to David Smith, and David Smith is returning, not skipping this year. He's playing third for Warwick Smith, who we don't know, but David Hay and Peter Smith are on that team. So that was the Brier, the World Championships in Winnipeg, where David Smith won his World Championship. All those kinds of things are incentives, of course.
And in 1989, John Walchuk and Pat Ryan and the crew won the World Championships in Milwaukee.
Easy.
They lost in '88, of course, to Agel Ramsfeld of Norway.
Who's back again this year? I think he just mails it in. Yes, I'll go to the World Championship this year.
There aren't a lot of curlers in Norway. We have talked about that.
I'm really, really disappointed. We'll talk about this when we get to the Worlds more, that the rest of the world has not done the work and has not put the effort into the growth of this game that this country has, and the CCA are to be applauded for that. And organizations like the Players Association and the World Curling Tour and television networks like CBC and ourselves that have really given the game exposure. The Europeans have not done that, and hopefully this Olympic situation will turn things around, Vic, and get some interest. But I'm really disappointed in what they've done for the sport.
Well, I think your disappointment is probably greatest of all because of the work you've done over there.
Yeah, I mean, I maybe have a little more personal involvement than some other people, because I did spend 12 years of my life over there, not all year long, but 3 and 4 months at a time. And it looked to me during the 70s and in the early 80s that they were really going to get that game going in countries like Norway, Denmark, Sweden, and Germany, and Switzerland, and they just haven't. They got off to a good start, and it's just of late has been ridiculous. And the other thing that annoys me, without any question of a doubt, is the fact that they, at the World Curling Federation level, they have so many votes. They really are dictating to the sport. There's 100,000 curlers in the world. There's over 1 million in this country alone, and all we have to listen to what they have to say.
From the internet, and Don Bateman from Moose Jaw, what exactly does the call "no line" refer to?
Well, it's the person in the house calling down how the stone is progressing, whether or not it's going to curl properly or not. No line means don't sweep it because it needs to curl a little more. Of course, what you want when you say no line back is the communication about the weight. And you continue down the ice saying what the line is like, what the weight is like, and make a decision on the sweeping.
That's a good answer, Linda. And that's when you hear us talk about the fact that there really is a lack of communication, or the communication between team members is front ends and back ends is so good on this particular team. And that's what we're referring to. The ability to be able to, as Linda says, the skip or the whole of the room is saying no line. It's a quiet tap back or something, and the rushers at that point are going to have to transfer back the amount of weight on the shot. So, good question, and you hear it a lot.
Ryan Rafuse, mixed champion in Nova Scotia, broke through this year finally.
Clean. Yes. Clean. Shot.
So Kevin Martin quite content to play this end out. Probably would throw the next stone in the next end if there is a blank this end. As I mentioned, waiting for Nova Scotia with the last rock at this stage of the game to make their move.
Hard.
Yep.
Real hard.
Clean.
Clean.
Yep.
Hurry. Good.
All right.
So Alberta forcing Rafuse to come and get him, try to blank the third end of play. Newfoundland and Prince Edward Island in the third. Newfoundland opened with one, stole one in the second. Peter McDonald.
Where is it?
This is his first stone, skip stone, for the team from Summerside.
I don't know what kind of weight, boys.
There's the communication Lyndon Ray was talking about, the third calling out. I don't know what kind of weight, boys. And they gave it right back to him. Looking to blank.
Okay.
And the shooter won't go, so once again, Nova Scotia forced to take one with hammer. Rafuse now tied with Alberta. And Martin will have the hammer back. And when we come back, we'll update you on what's happening between Newfoundland and PEI.
Skips aren't supposed to.
In a clinic like this, I can't stop for a headache. The doctor here told me about Advil. It's tough on pain, and it really works fast. In fact, one Advil is as effective as 2 regular strength Tylenol. And for cold and sinus congestion, there's Advil Cold and Sinus. It's tough on colds, like Advil is on pain, and now it's available without a prescription.
Advil and Advil Cold and Sinus. Tough on pain, tough on cold congestion.
This sports break is brought to you by new 7-Up Lights. Clear your mind.
Hi, folks. Welcome to our control center. I'm Michael Landsberg. Reaction to the firing of Maple Leaf coach Pat Burns continues. Captain Doug Gilmour talked about chemistry in the locker room, or lack of it.
I don't think there's a problem in the dressing room. I think guys are looking for excuses. Guys are looking the other way. And that's how I think we're all trying to find answers. And that's the way it's been going on for the last little while. Instead of going out, I think the biggest thing is we go out and we play very cautious. You can't play cautious in this game. You got to go out, you got to react.
And Wayne Gretzky will be in the lineup tonight when the St. Louis Blues face the Florida Panthers. That will be his home debut for the Blues. We'll take a break, then get back to curling.
We make maple leaf wieners for Courtney, who will only eat Mr. Broccoli if he hasn't touched Mr. Gravy. We make maple leaf wieners for Tim, who says peas explode in his mouth. And for Caitlin, whose scrambled eggs must be shaped like little boats. Maple leaf wieners have a taste made especially for kids. For Kenny, who won't eat anything with sauce, and Jason, who won't eat anything without sauce, there will always be maple leaf.
Final stone for Prince Edward Island against Newfoundland, and trailing 2-0 as they play the third. Peter McDonald. This a draw for 2. He's lying 1, back 8. And there it is, 2 for Prince Edward Island and the team from the Silver Fox Curling and Yacht Club in Summerside.
Had to try to defend it.
They've won 3 in a row after losing their first 3 here in Kamloops.
I couldn't feel the center. I couldn't feel the corner. And I just drew away. It was kind of funny. What's he doing?
What's he doing, dude? Made perfectly good sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the call by Kevin. He'll play now hard to get 2 points here, and that gives him the extra point of control that he wants. And then he'll run you out of rocks.
Yeah.
Or try to, and does it very well.
Don Bartlett. It's like when we're splitting the gin run me money. It's two for you, 1 for me.
Yeah.
2 for you, 1 for me.
But you have to look at it as an experience and a lesson. You can learn from those things.
Wait, Donnie.
And as we know, life is choices.
That's true.
That's a little bit more the position we would have seen in the second end. I think in the second end, the rock just didn't curl enough. But as I mentioned, Kevin doesn't put his corner guards wide. He puts them on the edge of that 4-foot band. A little easier to hit and roll behind them if he gets a chance or in a moment.
Glenn Josephson. Just getting back to what you were saying and about how he was a skip map out the ice. Is that what he's doing even when putting up corner guards?
No.
You definitely have to put it in a position where you can draw around it, so you don't want to put it so close to center that it's going to be tough to get around it. But he doesn't want them too wide, and you're right, he's mapping it out, figuring out the hits and rolls, exactly where he wants the stones.
And the other thing, too, is, and Shorty says I'm not right about this, and he would know better than I, but I haven't seen a lot of rocks make the big dive in the 12-foot area that we expect. Now, he said, Ray, they were going there this morning, and I certainly, he knows better than I do, but I haven't seen a lot of it. So you're getting the movement from center line to the edge of the 12-foot, but I haven't seen the huge movement from the middle of the 8-foot to the 12-foot.
Shorty being Shorty Jenkins, the ice maker for this championship.
Well,
did it pick something, Linda?
I don't know. They're looking at it rather strangely, but it definitely took off.
Yeah, Donnie threw it well, said Kevin.
I don't know. It curled a lot more than I thought it would anyway.
I'm not sure if it actually caught something or it was just not enough ice. Definitely Don released it to the broom. Wasn't anything he did.
That's a good shot, yeah.
You can tap it a little bit.
Yeah.
Dave Sloan-White.
I think it's light.
We were talking about Alberta taking their chances when they have last rock going for their two, but the interesting statistic so far is for Alberta, they've only given up one stolen end. And we, of course, remember that one because it was the final end of the Manitoba game. So it shows that even when he goes for his 2 points with last rock advantage, if he gets into trouble, he's either got the skill on the players, which he obviously does, or maps it out well enough so that he doesn't give up the steal. Of course, his players can throw that big weight, and we have seen them clear a number of stones out of the house, and Sean will try and do it right here.
Well, that's one of the advantages that they have over some of the other teams. They can throw that big weight so well, and when they do get in a little trouble, and this is a good example of it, they can, you know, they can throw the up weight and get those doubles so easily.
Good night, right in the center line.
That was a little slower than the Don Walchuk shot we timed the other night, I think. His were under 6 seconds.
Don Walchuk doesn't throw them, Linda, he fires them.
One of 7 left-handers.
Clean.
Dave Sloan-White.
Wow. Wow. It's clean. Take it way over if it's in.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, no.
I got it over in behind the corner. Pretty good shot. Kevin doesn't get the good roll here. You can...
Normal weight.
Shot that roll behind the corner guard is behind the T-line, so it really can hurt Brian Rafuse if they get it hit in a roll here or they get a chance to come down to it.
Run down there.
Brian's going to have to come in there now and take that come around away from him.
Want to peel that or draw here? No. That wasn't any of the options.
Yeah.
You want to peel that or draw there?
It was interesting on the hit, Sean threw this, and remember Don Bartlett's curled earlier? Sean's didn't, and it surprised Kevin Martin, both of those shots.
Well, he doesn't like the option of coming in here and blocking it off by drawing in front of it. And he...
None of the above, eh?
He wanted the 4-foot or the peel. And his team didn't want him to play the peel. You can see the plan of Brian is just to try and hang in there for 5, 6, 7 ends, and that's not a bad plan, and then take a run at it. A lot of teams will do that with Kevin. He keeps them, as we've already mentioned many times, he keeps you off balance because he'll switch
No, not
so
too
quickly.
deep.
Yeah, might as well take it back.
No,
yes.
it's back.
Yes, hard. Hurry.
That's fine.
Okay. Okay.
You just give him the same hit and roll again.
Huh? Run the double? What turn would you like to throw? The out turn's easier to get it going that way. In turn's all right too, though.
Yeah, I think the current turn you have a little more control of.
I like that too. Hit and roll. Yeah.
It's gone to the straight turn. We found those have been hard to get rolls off of.
The only benefit it is in the forefoot, and if there's any movement, that's where it will be. And he's broomed it, of course, very tightly.
Just throw it right at the center of the rock.
Don Walchuk with more Purple Hearts than anyone else. His 5th appearance at a national championship. Come on, finish a little hard. Okay, down. Update for you live, Ontario against Saskatchewan. You see Ontario leading 2-1 over the team from Moose Jaw as they play the final stone of the 4th. And Bob Ingram, the Ontario skip from Ridgetown, at 1 and 4.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Chance to break this one open.
Whoa, straight up, straight up. Straight up, straight up, straight up. Really hard, Larry. Really hard.
Quiet tap back. And then can he sit for 3? He did. 1, 2, 3 for Ontario in the 4th. And they'll lead a 5-1 over Saskatchewan. Meanwhile, Nova Scotia, an exchange of stones at the edge of the 4 to lie 2.
You peel the corner, we got the blend.
If I don't get it in the house, though, he's going around it.
Oh, you can peel. You can lose that thing every time, not like me down there.
Trying to hit and roll.
Yep. Oh.
Great shot.
Very nice.
That's exactly why Brian Rafuse wanted to peel the guard.
I can get it both ways. I think I can nose it probably. That's probably better. I can lose it that way.
A little bit more sweeping, I think, would have gotten the perfect roll. It is, I think, fully exposed.
It's a pass it by the back one, however, so it's... You're right, and if it rolls another 3 or 4 inches, it's a pistol. It's a good shot as it is.
I'm going to nose it.
The first for Brian Rafuse. He were in 4, a 2-2 tie.
Whoa! Whoa!
Jam.
He threw quite a bit of weight. I thought he might pull it down a little bit to get a little extra motion.
The win by Alberta would move them to 6-1 and ahead of Idle, Manitoba.
You go back in this end, and I didn't like the option of going to the other side. I said that I would have done what Brian did. I would have either peeled off the corner guard or gone in there first myself in front of the tee line. That's what set up this situation. That rock that was behind the tee line, behind the corner.
Clean, just clean. Yep. Hard. Hard.
Sean.
Need the double now.
Yeah, because I never do take it. Well, he yelled my name.
Double chance.
That's fine.
You see how little ice they're taking. They need to come down, hitting this stone just on this side of it here, coming across and making the double.
doesn't take any time in the hack. He's not happy with his release.
Okay.
The hit for 2.
Yeah, just a little bit outside with those, and they run down a string, totally straight. He has a very angled release to start, as you can see. You have to be careful that you don't push it out at all with the fingers when you do that. He didn't seem to think that he got it off cleanly.
Whoa!
Little less weight.
Whoa!
Clean.
Whoa! Clean.
For a pair here in the 4th.
Clean it. Good job, Kevin.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. And we have last rock. 2 for us, 1 for them. 2 for us, 1 for them. It's a 4-2 game, Alberta ahead, and it has Martin smiling. He's on the move, Martin, here at the Brier.
A pretty important invention. Just try living without it. But sometimes it just doesn't leave you feeling clean enough. Maestro, let's demonstrate. See what I mean? These are new Cottonelle Moist Wipes. You use them after you use this. And they leave you feeling cleaner.
Or clean. They have soothing aloe and they're flushable.
So if you want your family to feel fresher, cleaner, just better, this is one invention you won't want to live without.
New Cottonelle Moist Wipes. Advanced personal hygiene from Cottonelle.
Hey, pocket lovers! Introducing new McCain Deli Lovers Pizza Pockets to set you on your jet. Let's go, pocket lovers! McCain made them just for you. They made them with their best, so they taste a cut above the rest. Seasoned beef, salami, 2 pepperonis, Canadian bacon, and more in a crust that's baked, not fried, so there's no leaks, no mess. McCain Deli Lovers Pizza Pockets! The new taste to set you on your jets.
Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. In just minutes a day, your thighs can look like
2 mouth-watering patties and a rich
hypoallergenic base that makes your skin feel like
toupee in a can. Gets rid of all spots. In fact, it looks just like
fabulous fake fur. Fantastic for my rectum. Now easier to handle with a Royce Wrangler.
Life can be heavy. Keep it light. Clear your mind with a clearly great new taste. Check out new 7-Up Light.
From Gillette comes a revolutionary form of protection for men. Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirant. Unlike a stick that can stay in your underarm hair, this is a soft gel. It goes cleanly through the hair right down to the skin surface to fight odor and wetness where it begins. And that means effective all-day protection. A revolutionary form, Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirant.
A big part of the Season of Champions is the Canadian Airlines International Draw to the Button contest, which starts in local clubs, and the 8 finalists compete in the national championships. Last week in Thunder Bay, Karen Hulls was the champion and winner of 2 tickets that anywhere Canadian Airlines flies. Canadian Airlines also provides the second prizes for those in the Ford Hotshots. Welcome back to TSN's continuing coverage of this, the 96 Labatt Brier from the Riverside Coliseum in Kamloops. 4-2, Alberta leading Nova Scotia to go to the 5th, and the team from Bridgewater to have last rock. That's the way you do it. 2 every time you have last rock. As Ray says, it all somehow mathematically works out well at the end.
This is the lead that we talked about Alberta looks for in the first 5 ends of every game, and then they try and defend it, and they've so far done a pretty good job of defending. We'll see what they do here.
When we were in Thunder Bay for the Scott Tournament of Hearts, we mentioned the National Police Farm Spiel. That's to be played in Fort Francis. Well, the firefighters want equal time, which is fair. Because, you know, now I know if somebody breaks in, the police are coming. If I don't mention the firefighters, hey. So
no, not really.
The firefighters will be in Smithers from March the 30th to April 1st. Smithers, BC, beautiful part of northern British Columbia. And also in BC at Lillooet, BC, the Canadian Elks National, the men's seniors mixed championships, March 18 through 23. That's the Elks, not the moose, the
Or
Elks.
that way.
Another very regal animal, however, not quite as regal as the moose.
Glenn Josephson.
That's there.
Well, you weren't going to see Alberta put up a guard. They did bring another one in front of Shotstone, tapped it up a little bit. 2 rocks in the rings. Nova Scotia's making a play on it. They'd like to get a little roll.
Okay, if you want to.
Wait's there.
That's a good shot.
Shot.
Live update for you, Northern Ontario against Quebec as they play in the fourth, a 2-2 tie, or a 3-2 lead rather. Northern Ontario ahead of Quebec. Final stone for Don Westfall, looking for the raise to the button. And it won't get there. Now, what is this, a steal of 1 or 2? Oh, goodness, 3. 3 on the board for Northern Ontario. Dave McInnes looking to play giant killer, winless so far, now leading 6-2 over Quebec. Northern Ontario 0-5. Quebec among the leaders at 4-1.
Well, in our game, Kevin picked out the Nova Scotia stone and rolled over, so Brian Rafuse going to tap that back.
Right, you can really have some fun
Try
with
and tap it back a little bit.
Okay.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Looks warm.
Wait's a little quiet.
We saw yesterday they shouldn't listen to Brian.
I gotta say, it's not looking quiet to me.
What they're trying to do is rearrange the stones, not remove them, because the yellow ones in the back of the tee line actually provide protection for the red stones. So that one actually wasn't intended to be so strong. To remove that rock, it gives Alberta a chance to play the open hit.
Yep. Oh. Well, pretty nice, actually. What's he like? Okay.
Nova Scotia second, Dave Slonwhite.
I think this is kind of a swing in for Nova Scotia. They really, they've got the last rock. They've got to take a run at getting, they got a rock out in front, take a run at getting 2 points.
Yeah, line. Whoa, now, let it go. Let it go. Take the roll with you, Glenn. It could be real good.
Right over. Right over.
Just had to curl a little bit more to have the perfect roll.
Well, I mentioned how well Alberta plays that defensive style. Although they do play the quiet shots to get the lead, look at the total number of draws that they do throw. Alberta only has thrown so far 39% of their total shots as draws. Nova Scotia has played many more draws. 53% of their total shots have been draws. So once Alberta gets that lead, they play those hits, and they play them so well.
And one of the best at it, Don Walchuk.
Clean. Clean. Yep. Oh. Ball. Oh. Foul. Nice shot.
Quite interesting. There are opportunities during this in for Brian to ignore the stones at the top of the house, play draws. Even in this case, he could ignore that stone and draw into the pocket, perhaps. I know you're concerned about leaving stones at the top of the house, but Alberta's going to be hitting.
I don't know if I'd ignore this one, though, Linda.
Line's good.
It's just in one of those spots. You can get the little roll off of it, punch it back. He doesn't want it out of the rings again, as you mentioned.
Looks good.
Whoa. You know, he's only down 4-2.
Definitely go for the roll here rather than worrying about the yellow one.
All right.
Just too much.
Hey. They're piling up, though. They're all yellow. Alberta with
nose isn't bad.
The roll behind.
Clean. Oh. Clean. Yep.
We're getting used to that rather unconventional release of Don Walchuk. He is so accurate. It's another one. Pat Ryan has a rather unusual turn as well, but when they're so accurate, you don't say that it's wrong, you just say that it's their style.
That would finish. I didn't call that right for you.
Another tap back. Tap it back.
My heavy one finished.
It's almost like he cocks it here.
He turns it quite severely, sets it down a different way, and as he's finishing, he rolls it straight out to the broom.
Well, that goes against form. I mean, you wouldn't teach somebody that, would you?
It's not the standard way that I have taught, and I guess Ray...
No, it's not the kind of release you teach, but you're going to see all different variations of all kinds of deliveries, the crips.
Also go.
The whole world is kind of consistent in what they do teach as far as the grip and the release is concerned.
Okay.
Didn't stay here, eh?
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, or nose. Yeah. Got quite a pocket built back there.
Kevin would like to hit and stay right there, otherwise that will allow Brian the choice of going behind the corner or playing down to the stones at the back of the 8-foot.
Clean. Clean. Yep.
Is that the pocket he's referring to?
Clean. Clean. Whoa. 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 Okay.
That's a great shot because it takes away that. You could ignore that and play the come around though.
Wow. I mean, this is it's all yellow facing Nova Scotia as you get yourself caught up when you're in the midway point of this 10th draw.
You only need one to get one.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I was setting the whole end up to do this.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
No, I know. Thanks to Dave.
Ignoring all these stones here, he's just going to come around the guard here, try and get behind this guard into this area.
You got room.
Yep, for line.
Room. You got room.
And of course, again, the beauty at the moment is the 4-foot is open,
room.
even though there's a huge collection of stones.
Back house is better.
They're not in the 4-foot.
Hard for line.
Room. You got room. Back house. Back 8. Come on.
Glenn Josephson.
Come on, stay with it all the way back.
Can't hurt it. Hard, 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 hard. Back.
That's
Lovely
the one.
shot. Kevin will probably play the angle raise on it.
Whatever you want to throw.
He thought hard about that angle raise, but no, he said, I might jam it. He thought hard about playing this one, coming down, hitting this one here onto that one. But he was looking at it, if I don't hit it right, I could drive it into here.
If this thing snaps, we got to be ready.
So he's going to just come down. Because this rock is behind the tee line, he can sit in here and be shot.
I think it's why Brian wanted his rock deep, to try and tempt Kevin into this draw and hope, of course, that he makes a mistake and has a chance to get his 2.
Final stone for Alberta,
tight,
Kevin
first
Martin,
line.
here in 5.
Hurt.
Nova Scotia does have the last rock.
Stay close, yep. Hard!
All over it.
Quick!
Bartlett, Broda,
Come on, right back!
little B&B.
Let's go.
Now Walchuk all the way out the back.
Yeah, I did something there.
Kevin Martin's wife, Shauna, happy. And now Skipper. Yeah, it's 7.
That just wouldn't get by.
Oh.
They almost left it too long and hurt Kevin.
I
It
said
just
right away it was tight. Good shot.
Yeah, they really swept it hard to get it by the guard.
He just needs 1. None bigger than this one.
Feels a little hotter.
Yep.
Line's good.
Yes.
Yep.
Room.
Final
Just
stone.
room. Whoa, just for weight.
Whoa.
Wow.
Brian
Doesn't need any
Rafuse.
weight, guys.
Clean it, State. Let me see it.
Whoa.
Yes, that's
clean,
right.
Clean.
Kurt's in a tough spot there, and he should be back behind that stone. I don't know what he was doing up there anyway.
There it is, Skipper, you made it.
You only need 1 to get 1, isn't that right, Vic?
I've heard that somewhere. What would you have said if it would have gone out the back? Brian Rafuse doesn't care. He gets his single. He's within 1. Alberta leads 4-3.
I call it high dollar.
Your car is a high-precision instrument. Take it to AutoPro. With qualified personnel and state-of-the-art equipment, it's the expert on brakes, front-wheel drive, steering, suspension, and mufflers. All protected by AutoPro's national warranty. AutoPro, the largest network of car care professionals.
Out on the ice, I don't score points for how my hair looks. But after the game, in front of the press, when the cameras are just inches away and millions of fans are watching, my hair has to look great. And great hair can't have flakes. No way. So I get rid of them with Head & Shoulders. It keeps my dandruff in check and my hair looking great. Go. Hey, you can't hide under a helmet all the time.
Head & Shoulders, every day.
With great hair, can't have flakes.
I'll never forgive them for breaking my alligator lamp.
That was a mercy killing.
Oh, you are cruel.
Voila, the telephone.
Oh, good. Where was it?
Microwave.
Of course.
I guess we should sign up for a long-distance thingy, huh?
Well, everyone we know is back east.
Why do they have to make this thing so complicated?
What's it say?
Well, it says we get 15% off.
Yeah?
But then there's this part that's even higher, but it's only on 3 numbers.
3? That's it?
Introducing a long-distance plan that makes sense. 25% off all calls, anytime, anywhere, when you spend $25 a month.
Wow, this is really complicated. Did you have anything to do with this?
What are you saying, I complicate things?
25% off all calls, anytime, anywhere, including overseas and calling card. Call 1-800-806-1166.
Of course, if we did just go for the 3 numbers, you know, you're not going to call that Michael guy.
You are such a child.
But isn't it the child in me that you fell in love with?
Who said anything about love?
Updating the game between Ontario and Saskatchewan for you here in draw 10. 5-1, Ontario leading. Final stone, Rod Montgomery from Moose Jaw. It's another steal of 1 for Ontario, and the team from Moose Jaw in danger of slipping to 4 losses, trailing 6-1 to Bob Ingram. Our featured game is in the 5th end break here at the Riverside Coliseum. And while we are in our break, we'll check in on the game between Prince Edward Island and Newfoundland. Right next door, they've lanked 4 in a 2-2 tie. And so last rock belongs to Newfoundland. And Frank O'Driscoll from the St. John's Curling Club at 4-2. Prince Edward Island 3-3. Peter McDonald and his team from Summerside lost their first 3 and have responded now with 3 straight wins to get to 500 and ready for the final stone of the end and a chance for 2 for Newfoundland.
Yeah, you're right, Vic. It's just a tap back just. It just has to come down to the face of the Yellowstone and tap it back and pick up a deuce and take a little bit of control of this game. PEI been on a little bit of a roll, as you mentioned, 3 straight wins. I think you had a talking to them, didn't you, Linda?
The PEI team?
Yes.
Yeah, they had a birthday on Sunday night, and I went in. Their driver is, well, actually my coach and her husband are taking care of the team and the wife. So we went and had a little birthday cake, and of course I told them a joke. They said that was instantly the reason why they won.
Was that bad a joke, was it?
It was. They had a very good groan, I guess.
He removed his own stone.
Yeah, missed opportunity for Newfoundland and Frank O'Driscoll. They'll get 1, and Peter McDonald will go to the 5th end break, trailing by 1. 3-2 Newfoundland. PEI to have the hammer. Last rock when they resume play in the 6th end. We'll be back with you with the 11th draw of this Labatt Brier. 9 p.m., 6 Pacific. Saskatchewan in danger of losing their 4th. Team from Moose Jaw against British Columbia. Barry McPhee, British Columbia with the afternoon off and sitting at 4-2. Kevin Martin talking with his 5th player, Jules Oucher, as we look at the game between Northern Ontario and Quebec. Playing the 5th. Boy, that 3 for Northern Ontario, a steal of 3, jumps out at you to give Northern Ontario the 6-2 lead over Quebec.
It's going to happen every once in a while. Quebec plays very aggressively, leaves the stones in play, tries some things, and when they don't work, occasionally you do get caught, and that's what happened last end when the Quebec raise attempt just wasn't at the right angle. The weight was, I think, just about perfect. Again, they're trying to get something going here. Lots of rocks in the 8-foot.
The last end was really a textbook end in our game, too, and we'll talk about that in a moment when this end is over.
Dave McInnes and his team from Timmins, Ontario. Zero and 5.
Native of Kirkland Lake, I believe.
From the McIntyre Curling Club in Timmins. First time the McIntyre has represented Northern Ontario since 1949.
Great shot.
Boy, terrific.
Wonderful shot.
Break is over and the 6th end is just underway. However, we'll just finish up and wait for the final stone for Don Westfall.
I got room.
As he plays his final stone, facing 3. Draw against 3, and he needs a piece of the 4.
He's been very cool under fire so far in the round robin, so we'll see how he does here.
Girl. Yeah, line's good. All yours.
Pierre Charette in the blue jacket. Louis Biron closest to the stone, the front end. Dan Lemery now finished 3rd in the Ford Hart Shots competition, out to help and trying to drag it as far as they can. Get it there, get it close enough. Oh, they just did for the single for Quebec. In 5, they'll trail 6-3 going to the 5th end break.
And of course, in our game, another come-around attempt by Nova Scotia. The red rock in the top of the 4-foot. Alberta's sticking with offense. They wanted to corner freeze that. It actually curled a little bit too much. Kevin Martin could have taken the guard off if he'd wanted at that stage. But elected to play the draw.
Yeah, that darn free guard zone.
Best thing, eh?
Yeah, it is. It's great. Well, it's probably why we got here, that and time clocks.
Those are nice comments by both those. They're talking about the free guard zone, and you heard Kevin say it's really been the best thing. And we're hearing it from the top skips in our country, and it's pretty well a consensus of all the players across the country that we've made a terrific decision when we went to the free guard zone rule, and I think the 3 rocks is better than the 4 rocks. We still have 12-foot play that the world doesn't see. Go to talk about the last end, Vic, and we were kidding, I was kidding you about the fact that you only need 1 to score, but it was a terrific example of the attempts to try and score more than 1 point and keeping at all times keeping the 4-foot open. And because if the 4-foot's open, and you can always get your single. And that was the case of a good skip drawing against 7.
How's the weight? Weight's good. Okay,
lots of weight. Lots of weight.
Hurry.
It's when you do that gambling and close the 4-foot that it's very nervous.
Bumping. Okay.
Because now you can't get in. You can't take the advantage. Use the advantage of your last rock.
Oh, good shot.
Yes, sir. Doubles there now, though.
The numbers the numbers through 5.
Well, there aren't any steals, as Vic said. It's Nova Scotia 1, Alberta 2, back and forth that way. The math's going to add up if it continues that way for Alberta. And look at the percentages on draws. 97% for Alberta and 90% on hits. Those numbers for Nova Scotia are quite good as well. But how do you beat a team that's playing 93% overall? Just tremendous numbers for Alberta.
Whoa!
The inside movement, not the outside.
Okay. Whoops.
Dave Sloan-White.
Kevin's telling you what he's doing. I don't have to even draw it for you, but I will. Hit that, come across.
Normal weight.
Hitting this one. That's why you had to get the inside roll on that shot to the face of the other yellow.
Wow.
Well, this is a little bit of a chance now for Brian to hit that and get the inside roll and come off the front one.
There? Yeah. Is it? We'll just play the hit and roll, though.
I got to be careful not to spill my own, too.
Oh, you just can't over curl it.
Right.
No, well, I mean, you can even do that. It's not too crazy. Just play the hit and roll to here.
Okay.
You have the option of maybe coming off the back of this one here and sitting in this area here.
Hit and roll.
Now, you've had a couple opportunities here, Linda, and you've got to take advantage of them.
That's another one of these ends where it's going to flip back and forth because Alberta had the huge opportunity there for that double, as you showed us, and now flips back to Nova Scotia. If they can get the roll, they can start to set up a possible steal.
No, no. No, no, no. Never, not at all. Just leave it. Shot.
That's not bad.
Well, gentlemen in the yellow sweater and the tam. And we talked about Northern Ontario and a team from McIntyre. First time since 1949. Well, that gentleman is Hugh Calvary. Well, they called him Huey then. He was a member of that 1949 team from McIntyre, and he's the only surviving member of that team. And he drove here all the way from Timmins at the age of 84. Cheer on his team from McIntyre.
Marvelous.
And that McDonald Brier was played in Hamilton at the Hamilton Thistle Club.
Yep.
And a team from Manitoba won it.
49, 49. Leo Johnson? No. 49.
What kind of weight do you want?
Regular.
Alec,
I got to take
no
the
idea.
shooter, don't I?
Yeah, that's regular.
Why don't I throw hack or something then?
Ken Watson?
You got it.
I
throw
I
regular
can't hit
well.
all of it. I can't see all of it.
I don't know, but...
Let's throw regular.
All right.
Just catching a piece of the yellow one up top
I was
wouldn't be
talking
the
about
worst
throwing
thing in
it
the world
down.
anyway.
You'd like to have the regular stuff.
That's not bad. That's okay.
Trying to run the red one back.
Okay.
It's just so relaxed. Saying, oh, well, if it curls a little, we'll do this.
Chance here.
You don't want to guard, do you? Okay. Okay.
Don't you love those mitts, Vic?
They'll be
Regular.
installing some high-tension wires. They really are. They look like electrical gloves. You'd be insulated from everything.
Clean.
Kurt Palmer.
Just clean. Yep. Whoa. 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 All right.
That's a very good shot. Especially the angle that the red one sits on, Linda. It's frozen onto the front yellow one. That's a very good shot.
Like hack weight?
Yeah, just flop or something.
Yeah, he's got to get it moving
Maybe we
around.
can even or even nose and move this to here. That'd be nice. Then we got him coming both ways. Okay. Just hack weight. Hear that, or the flop's good.
Huh?
Yeah. Just hack weight, come down, get this one here. Even you heard Kevin say, even if you move this one over to this area here, then we can use it later to trying to get at it somehow. The redstone rolled to a perfect spot.
Clean. Yep. Hurry. Oh.
Don Walchuk.
Clean.
It's got hack weight.
Oh. No roll. Oh, great shot.
That's a very good shot.
Another example of positioning rocks. You're just setting things up for the skip, trying to get them in a place where you can move them back into the 4-foot area.
Well, the yellow still goes.
Yellow still goes. Well, I'm just...
Yeah, it gives him another.
Yeah, I think it hit.
No, it looks...
You can guard the situation, or you can
trip over anyway.
remove the yellow one.
Yeah, beak it.
Yeah. Yep. If you get a little out of it, you got the double.
Yep.
That's good.
You hit on this one. Here. Try and sit right about here.
Just a hit and stick.
Even if you sit right on the nose.
Yeah, the double will be a mistake. Just kind of let me handle the tail end of it because I don't want to kill that red one back there, obviously.
The double means if he hits it a bit full, he'll catch the other yellow and get both of them. But it's really just a hit and stick right there is what he's saying.
Clean. Oh, off.
What did he mean by let me handle the tail end of it, you think?
Just calling the line.
Leave it. It's good.
And that's the one he said he didn't want.
Had to sweep it then.
That's too bad, Skipper.
No, you gotta
it looked like it was
flop
coming
here.
up
It's all
a
right.
bit.
Yeah, I thought it was going to come out.
Just play the same kind of weight I threw.
Well, should we be hitting then? I guess we almost have to. He's going to bump anyway, isn't he?
Yeah. What do you want? What are you gonna? You want to throw the same thing I did, or are you gonna be more?
Well, I'll be.
Okay.
Oh, same-ish, board type of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. He's just reflective of the team, Kevin Martin.
They have to remove
Hack
this
the
one,
board,
otherwise you
like
heard
stuff.
Kevin say they'll just play the bump on it. So they're coming down with a hit here, trying to roll over into this area here.
Whoa! Whoa!
Oh.
Right off.
I recognize that throw. Clean.
That's the Jeff Stoughton throw is what he's referring to. He got it outside a bit.
That nice weight is going to come up, not as much as he hoped, but it's not going to cause a lot of damage.
Yeah.
He had exactly the same, well, not
you better have a
exactly the
look.
same kind of shot, but
think?
He had a tap back and he threw an out turn like that.
Well, the Riz got more than half a
Put
rock.
outside, that's what he's referring
and
to.
the Yellows
game
got
he had a
less
chance
than
to
half
beat
a rock.
And that was the one stolen in they've had against them so far
Well,
in
it
the
looks
event.
like the hack weight out turn.
Yeah.
So that, yeah, that's it. Probably it takes a little bit more than hack weight to get anything out of the rings here, so, you know, it'll be back.
Okay. All right.
You know, a little more than hack.
Okay.
You gotta love Brian, don't you? He's just out there having a nice time.
It's a few more feet than hack weight.
So a little more than
Just look
hack would be
after
back
getting
hack,
shot rock out of there.
as he said, back hack.
Feathering the top one's almost the way to do it. No, I gotta get it to go.
Doesn't look like a very big hole between that far away yellow one, center line, and the one to our left. To get through to Shotstone, that's the one closest to us.
Yes! Whoa, whoa! Whoa!
Final stone for Nova Scotia here in 6. Alberta leading by 1 has the hammer.
Clean. Whoa!
Yes!
Whoa!
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Never!
Whoa, off! Off! Yep, yes! Hard!
Whoa, whoa,
Hard!
Oh, very nicely done.
That's a lovely shot. Lovely shot.
Nice shot.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to throw that sidearm to get that to come in there.
Nice one.
What he's referring to is the way he released it. He released it on an angle. He referred to it as sidearm. In other words, you just come out and you kind of throw it and angle it across. You get it going on that straight spot.
Be good.
I was going to say hi Bridgewater in case I didn't make that draw against 7. I was going to get the hack, you know, the microphone and just say hi Bridgewater.
It's very subtle, of course, when you do that.
It's a very precise thing. A little outside, a little inside. It just prevents it from getting caught in that straight spot.
Final stone.
Heavy? Huh? No. How heavy? Whoa. 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 Whoa.
Kevin Martin.
Whoa. It's not breaking.
Ah. Oh, the rub. Oh, she's going to give up the steal. Oh, the terrific shot then by Nova Scotia's Brian Rafuse pays off with a steal of 1. Hey, and they're happy at the Bridgewater. They're all even, 4-4.
I think Ford has had its best successes when we've gone in our own direction. This is why we've given the Canadian car buyer a choice between the Taurus sedan or wagon at the same very affordable price. So they can choose the Taurus that meets their individual needs. Sedan or wagon. It's an original idea. It's a good idea.
Redesigned, re-engineered, reinvented, the 1996 Ford Taurus.
We make maple leaf wieners for Courtney, who will only eat Mr. Broccoli if he hasn't touched Mr. Gravy. We make maple leaf wieners for Tim, who says peas explode in his mouth. And for Caitlin, whose scrambled eggs must be shaped like little boats. Maple leaf wieners have a taste made especially for kids. For Kenny, who won't eat anything with sauce, and Jason, who won't eat anything without sauce, there will always be maple leaf.
Maybe you think only those jet set types need a Nokia cellular phone.
Hi, it's me. Flight's delayed.
Well, now Nokia's making cellular phones so easy.
Late. Can I skip my bath?
They're practically child's play.
Attention, Flight 11 is delayed.
Can I call you back?
With Nokia's big, easy-to-read screens, last number redial, and sleek designs.
No, don't hold dinner. I'm eating my body weight in hot dogs. No, wait up. You gotta tuck me in.
So get set to join the jet set. Nokia, Europe's leading cellular phone, also made in America, connecting people.
The museum closes in 10 minutes.
There's no toilet paper. Oh boy, here we go. Hey, this way.
Introducing new Scott Purex Extra. It's as pillowy soft and strong as ever, but now it's also extra long. In fact, it's a double roll.
I'm coming. This Scott stuff never runs out.
Scott Purex Extra. Soft, strong, and now twice as long.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for cheering for us. Look out, Alberta.
Blue Nosers.
Go in.
People from Bridgewater are here to cheer on Brian Rafuse. And they're happy now after the steal of one. Puts them into a 6-6 tie against Alberta. Going to 7 and to lead it off. Nova Scotia lead. Glenn Josephson.
Settle down now for a bit. Enough excitement for me.
Didn't have the Blue Noses on though. Not quite Nova Scotia supporters without the Blue Nose.
We were just talking about that last end, and it seemed to me that maybe Kevin Martin could have drawn to the 4-foot the other way. He tried to play through the quite small port. He couldn't run his own back onto shot stone because there was another red stone in the rings, a kicker, and if he'd happened to hit his own and roll out or something, he might have given up too. So I understood why he didn't play that shot, but thought maybe the easier draw was on the other half.
I'm not sure, Linda. I never even looked at the other side of the sheet either. I don't know why I didn't, but you may be right.
But it was that terrific shot by Brian Rafuse that got the stone into great position, buried, and that's how they got the steal. And now Alberta has gone to the offense, putting up the guard.
And Brian got the action on it, as he said, by kind of sidearming it, by angling it a bit, so it didn't get caught in the straight run.
Glenn Josephson and Brian Rafuse played together on that, well, two former Nova Scotia mixed championship teams, 76 and 89. We say this team has been together for 14 years. 3 of them have actually been playing together for 23.
Shot.
Brian's going to defend against the corner, as you can see, by going around the corner. Now, you have to keep it in front of the tee line, which it didn't happen, but this allows Kevin a chance to hit and roll. That rock had to be in the top 8 foot, not back on the tee line.
Yeah, normally. Keeping our eye on the game between Newfoundland and PEI. 3-2, Newfoundland leading. Yep. PEI is lying 1, but surrounded. No.
In the upper right.
Pardon me.
Yeah, I was going to say top right, Alberta makes the hit, but they're having a conversation in the bottom left because Newfoundland, there's a lot of rocks in play, a lot of their rocks, and the one shot stone does belong to PEI near the button, so it's a very complicated situation that they're talking about, as you can see now. Looks to me like they're going to actually play off a side stone to try and get into that button area where the yellow stone is.
Frank O'Driscoll and the team from the St. John's Curling Club started the day at 4-1, but then lost in draw 9 this morning. 4-1 to Alberta.
Yep.
Dave Slonwhite, Nova Scotia's second.
Whoa.
And now O'Driscoll's final stone. Hammer belongs to PEI. They're lying 1.
Wants to catch just a corner of the stone that's in front of the house.
Now all the way across.
So close, it had to hit a little less of the first stone to get the angle onto the yellow rock.
Cheryl Coleman would have had no problem making that.
That's right.
Clean. The Alberta champion Cheryl Coleman with the shot of the event, maybe the shot of women's curling in many years at the Scott Tournament of Hearts against Ontario back in Thunder Bay.
Sean Broda with a hit, spills them both.
Yeah, it hit.
Piece of the button. Peter McDonald, final stone. Chance for 2. He has 1, but this is going to be a a tough one to get, Lindy, would seem to me, because just he has to get around a stone just sitting, just biting the top of the 4-foot.
Well, it's a small area to draw to. That's certainly true. You throw to the tee line, you should be able to get full 4-foot.
In our game, Alberta and Nova Scotia, there's nothing in play now. Brian Rafuse went up and ran off the corner guard.
Line's good. Wait only.
For 2 here in 6 to take the lead. They lost their first 3. Now trying to win their 4th in a row. Got it by. Oh, they'll crash this time, bounce off, and won't sit in time. So it is 1 for Prince Edward Island in the 6th, and Peter McDonald to even it with Newfoundland. 3-3, the team from St. John's to have Hammer playing 7.
Well, clean.
Nova Scotia 3rd, Kurt Palmer.
Shot. They don't applaud peels very much, do they?
No.
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, it seemed after the 4th in, when Alberta took the 4-2 lead, that things might be a little bit different, but it's that big steal in 6. It's got Nova Scotia even with Alberta, and now a wide open house.
They got real time problems over there, too.
Another peel.
Well, this is Kurt Palmer.
Shot.
The lawyer wins his appeal. Northern Ontario against Quebec, playing the 6-3 Northern Ontario. Final stone, Dave McInnes from Timmins, 0-5 against Quebec, 4-1. And where will this one go? They haven't even put a brush to it, the front end. Keeps sliding and sliding. Now look at the yellow stones. 1, 2, 3. Dan Lemery is there in a great position, and out the back. And the steal of 3 means they're all even going to 7.
Don Westphal made a great shot in that end to set that situation up, and you saw what happened to Dave McInnes' straw. It just kept sliding and sliding and sliding. He looked like he threw it pretty well, but just wouldn't dig in for him.
It was too bad. If they'd swept it a little, of course, quite a bit earlier, they might have got a tick on the one they passed by, their own stone, and maybe rolled in for shot. But it's one of those situations where it's just that slide path is so keen, you don't anticipate that it's going to go so far.
Well, center rock.
Front of the tee line, obviously.
Brian Rafuse has got a chance now to go around a center line guard. And this is his first stone. Kevin Martin having the hammer in this end. Brian made a great shot the last game and last end. He made some good shots the last game too. He lost the game, but. Good chance here, and you heard him say, obviously, we have to be in front of the tee line, not behind it.
Yeah, go.
Yep, for line. Hard for line. Room now, room.
Clean. Not deep.
Yes. Yep. Yes. Whoa.
Got it by.
Well, they had to rush it to get it by, and it just is too deep. It gives Kevin Martin a chance to sit on top of it down or get it around the guard himself. To the top of the 4-foot, and that's the indication.
It was interesting when Brian let that one go, he said, I think it's light. And look how far that rock went as well. Now, granted, they had to sweep it to get it by, but definitely down the center, you have to be careful not to give it any extra weight.
In-turn draw for the Alberta skip.
Okay, hurry for line. Hurry for line. Okay. Hurry.
Yep.
Hard.
Hard.
Hard. It's busting.
Real hard.
Hard.
Quick.
Hard. Come on.
Hard.
Hard. Hard, 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 hard. Hard, hard, hard. Oh, yeah, come on, come on. Need shot rock. Come on.
Need shot rock so that Nova Scotia has to go after it and hit it, not just play another come around. Both skips got caught there, I think, a little bit on how much curl there was.
And then chance to hit this stone here and roll right over here to the top of the 4-foot if possible. And you'd be in very good shape.
Keep that flag going, girls.
Talking to his fans.
Yeah, they're sitting up in behind the away end as Brian Rafuse and Nova Scotia throw there. Last. Here in 7, Alberta with
Clean.
the hammer and a 4-4 tie.
Hard. Clean. Clean. Got.
Well, what you suggested is held true so far. Nova Scotia, Rafuse's plan was to stay close and maybe sneak it out at the end against Alberta. Done a good job. The steal of 1 and 6 keeps them even, and now knows he'll get the hammer back here, giving up 1.
I think I'm a little light.
If Martin makes the draw against 2.
Hurry. Hard. Okay.
T-line.
Weight looks good from the time clock.
That's good.
Shot kill.
And perfect it is.
T-line weight by the 91 champion. Kevin Martin and Alberta take 1, and he just refuses to lose.
This sports break is brought to you by Pennzoil. There are no limits.
Hi, folks. Welcome to our control center in the newsroom. I'm Michael Landsberg. Sports Desk at 6:30 Eastern Time. Wayne Gretzky will play tonight for the St. Louis Blues in his home debut against the Florida Panthers, but he says it's no different than any other game.
Every game is big for me in the sense that I know people expect something. So I don't get any nights off, and I don't have any nights where people don't expect something. I know every night that people want to see something. And over my career, I've been fortunate enough to play with some pretty good players to most of the time satisfy people, but there are nights where not quite as good as other nights, but I know that it won't be from a lack of trying.
And tune in to Sports Desk for 6:30 Eastern Time. We'll have more on the Pat Burns firing with the Maple Leafs.
We make maple leaf wieners for Courtney, who will only eat Mr. Broccoli if he hasn't touched Mr. Gravy. We make maple leaf wieners for Tim, who says peas explode in his mouth. And for Caitlin, whose scrambled eggs must be shaped like little boats. Maple leaf wieners have a taste made especially for kids. For Kenny, who won't eat anything with sauce, and Jason, who won't eat anything without sauce, there will always be maple leaf.
Voila, la telephone.
Oh, good. Where was it?
Microwave.
Of course.
I guess we should sign up for one of these long-distance things, huh?
Well, everyone we know is back east.
Yeah. Well, I think this says we can get 20% off.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Well, it's only on 3 numbers.
3? That's it?
Yeah, here and in the States.
Did you have anything to do with this?
Oh, what are you saying? I complicate things?
I'm just saying. I mean, there's got to be something better, that's all.
The 1996 Labatt Brier is brought to you by CIBC Trust.
your will and estate planning and investment management professionals. By Unitel, quality long distance for less. And by the Ford Motor Company of Canada Limited.
All the scores for you now. Get you caught up. Here in the 10th draw, the Labatt Brier from Kamloops, British Columbia. Boy, that steal of 3 for Quebec, huh? And Ontario is pulled in front now by 5 on a struggling team from Moose Jaw. One for Alberta, puts them in front 5-4 as we start the 8th.
Let's wait.
Brian just going to tap it back. Let's keep some rocks in play. I thought he might throw up the corner. It's the 8th end. Into the free guard zone area first, like he did
Room! Room!
when he scored a single before in the 6th.
He's definitely taking no chances. This is the more conservative offensive approach, if you can call it that.
We saw him draw against 7. He wants to keep that in play if he can. Kevin would like to get it out of there.
Well, look at this. We have empty popcorn. We have Twizzlers, licorice, milk. Oh, healthy spring water. Good for him. And if this all goes with, already checking the menu is Bruce Sparling ordering in.
Whoa, let it go.
You know, make it quick because you've got to work the Panavision. Yeah, get back to the rock, please.
Yeah, if you want
Bruce
to.
Sparling, our Panavision operator. It's tough though when the butter gets on those little joysticks. You lose focus very quickly.
Bruce's mom was a great follower of ours, Vic. So watches all our telecasts. Of course, she's a little critical about the camera work that we get from the man in the sky sometimes.
It's a lot bigger when he comes home off the curling circuit. Well, look at that. Glenn Josephson giving Don Bartlett a battle at lead.
Yep.
Alberta second, Sean Broda.
Hart.
Got it. Drive it by.
Well, Brian's got those rocks in the back of the rings, behind that tee line, right where he wants them.
Yeah, could do.
He'd throw up a corner now. That'd be a neat call. I like it. I like it. I like this call. Put the corner up. See what Kevin does. He's got 2 rocks behind the tee line. Throw up the corner.
Of course, as we know, the problem with playing the freezes down to the back rocks at this stage, Alberta are very good at spilling out rocks. They can throw the up weight, so I like the corner too. Try and get something going up front. If that doesn't work, yes, you will have those stones in the house later.
Dave Slonwhite. Now, if they do put the corner up,
Should have it a little tighter. It'd be tougher to peel. I wanted to peel him back.
what are Martin's options? What is he trying to get Martin to do here?
Well, I mean, Kevin's going to, as Linda said, Kevin's going to peel it, and he recognizes the fact that that's a rock that could get him into trouble. Brian looking for a nose hit of some nature, or a rock that's jammed back onto the ones in the rings, but this team peels so well. There it is.
Off the internet from Barbara Knapp. How is it determined who throws red stones each draw? And Could one team always have red rocks? No. The draw and who throws red is predetermined by the organizers, the Canadian Curling Association. So through the 17 draws of round-robin play, each team will play an equal number of red and yellow stones.
Center. He's there. Just give it a chance.
Yeah, I like
This is a good way
tighter.
for Brian to play. I really like his approach. Kevin,
Okay, clean it.
he's going to peel it probably again, but you then
like even
play
in the
this a
rings,
few
it's
times and then go back to the freeze. Maybe you might get a jam again.
Yeah, that's good.
Here comes the peel.
Peeling from the inside to avoid any possible jams, but you're going to see this one come fast.
Clean.
Newfoundland, Prince Edward Island tied 3-3 as we take the peek there. Final stone for Prince Edward Island. Peter McDonald. Lovely stone.
Crazy.
Makes the draw. Hammer belongs to Newfoundland, playing 7. Meanwhile, Nova Scotia third, Kurt Palmer.
It's heavy.
The freeze this time.
That's heavy.
Room.
You
Whoa,
want to
man.
freeze it on the center line side. If you can.
No.
You
No,
just want,
no, no.
You just want this
Just
up
for
to
weight.
it. You don't
Line
have
will
to hit
come. No, no bounce. No, never. Never. Just leave it. Leave it, it's fine.
it. It's the side you want it on, as long as it doesn't.
You gotta knock it past it.
You're going to really
Those
get,
won't go anywhere.
being on
As long
that
as you
side.
don't jam it less than half a stone, we're fine.
Oh, rip it
You
off
bet.
there.
Rip her through here. You bet.
Okay, this is coming down here now. We should move all the people in the first 4 rows, I think. Would you mind moving back, please? Rows 1, 2, and 4.
Oh, the description, let's just rip it off.
I'll rip it off the back one.
It's going to jam onto the one and hit the back one, and they could all go south. Is that south?
I think it might be east, but whatever way it is, it's going to happen very quickly.
Here we go. 5.79 is our timed record. From hog to hog. Whoa.
Picked it right off.
They'll take it, though, even though it wasn't quite as fast as the other one. Good shot.
Shot.
Meanwhile, Newfoundland trying to figure out, Frank O'Driscoll, how to possibly get in there for a second point.
It's looking at raising this stone rather than drawing.
This is the Newfoundland stone right here. And the PEI stone, the one that just was put there, is right on the button now. He's looking at a front rock, an angle rock, and trying it will be raised, I think.
I think it might even
Come
be a
back on
chance
this-
for a double.
On this angle here.
Definitely the red stone on the left onto shot stone. There's a chance that if you hit it on the side, you actually might get a double. It'd be a very, very tough shot.
3-3 tie. They're playing 7. Frank O'Driscoll, final stone. Skipped from the St. John's Curling Club. Rick Rousseau calling the line. And a great final draw by Peter McDonald to put it on the pin will give PEI the steal of 1 in 7. Prince Edward Island is rolling along, looking to win their 4th in a row. Newfoundland trying to avoid dropping their 2nd straight. Kevin Martin and his first.
And those last few shots are the reasons why we were talking about Brian Rafuse getting the stones up front, trying to get a miss there, because we have rarely seen people like Kevin Martin and Don Walchuk miss the picks on those frozen rocks or the frozen attempts that were made by Nova Scotia.
Practice the draw to the pin.
Good time to have a draw, get a feel for draw weight.
It's a little tight, but yeah.
Weight's there. Weight's there.
We've seen the rock slide so easily
Got
in the
lost,
last
it's
couple
back.
of ends. It'll be interesting to see how this one goes. It should
down.
slide too far with that time.
Did I tell you about it's getting heavier?
Yeah. Yeah, I heard you.
Back 8 foot.
It took you so long to figure out whether you're going to say heavier or lighter that
You
you
couldn't
really
remember when
got
you got
scrambled.
I thought I threw both of those freezes pretty hard, but they were, mind you, they were in the back of the 8 foot too, so.
Yeah. Well, let's see how we can do with our peels. This one isn't quite so important. The 9 the next end will be the big one, but. Yep.
No, clean. Yep.
Kevin Martin, his final stone.
Whoa. Yep. Yep. Turn, a little bit of ice.
We even put the stopwatch on Brian when he went to throw once, because he is very fast in the hack. A lot of people sit, concentrate, have some habits, that sort of thing, but he gets in there and there's the swing right off the bat.
Yep. Yep. Hurry. Hurry.
Look at you blank.
Hurry. 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 Okay.
Brian
Right, give
Rafuse will roll out the shooter to maintain control of the hammer through 8. Here are the standings heading into this 10th draw in Kamloops. Alberta at 5-1. Manitoba with the afternoon off. Jeff Stoughton, Quebec, Newfoundland at 4-2 with British Columbia. Nova Scotia PEI at 500. On through the rest in Northern Ontario, still looking to win their first, and we're playing, of course, Quebec right now in a 6-6 tie. More when we return to Kamloops on the beautiful shores of the Thompson, north and south.
We're not quite sure what to call it, but everyone seems to have it. The desire to go somewhere, the urge to do something. Bell Mobility salutes the spirit in all of us that makes us want to move. Where you want to go is your business. Letting you go with confidence is ours, because gravity should be the only thing holding you down. The only way to go, Bell Mobility.
I'll have the chili. Chili? You should know better. And I'll have the fries. Fries? You should know better. And now I'll have Tums Ultra.
New Tums Ultra is our highest strength ever. It goes to work in seconds, neutralizing stomach acid to relieve heartburn and indigestion fast. And unlike many antacids, Tums Ultra has calcium.
Something your body uses anyway. You'll like that.
I'll have the chili. I know. I should know.
McCain changed potatoes into crispy bite-sized taters.
New McCain tasty taters.
Bite-sized taters, crispy and golden brown on the outside. Crispy, so they lock in all that tender potato flavor you love.
You'll love the crispy flavor in a bite-sized taters.
New McCain Tasty Taters in crispy bite-sized tater flavors. Cheese, regular, or Cajun.
Here's the flavor in a bite-sized tater.
New McCain Tasty Taters, crispy flavor in a bite-sized tater.
My dream house would be a big house with stairs that go like this and have a big chandelier. There would be a humongous horse. I'd have the main floor, and it would have a room for my pets. Rusty. His name is Rusty.
To see how you can be home free faster, get expert help, the right plan, and guaranteed competitive rates, see your CIBC personal banker or call now.
1,000 times bigger than this.
At CIBC, we're working to see what you see.
Riverside Coliseum. That's our home the entire week. For this, the 96 Labatt Brier, the Canadian Men's Curling Championship. We're in draw 10. Talk about percentages. Many people on the internet want to know how we calculate them. Well, they're calculated for us by the Canadian Curling Association. Each shot is worth a maximum of 4 points. The official score decides if shot was played properly. You can get 0 out of 4, 4 out of 4, which is the best, of course. And then the percentages accumulate as the game progresses through all the ends to a final number.
And just to add to that, of course, there are bonus shots. You can get 5, not 4, if you have a game saver, and you can actually get another bonus point on top of that for a total of 6 for a game winner. And these are incredible shots that either save or win a game. Those can give you the bonuses. Nice come around attempt here. Just to give you one more example on those freezes last end, remember they weren't perfectly on line or perfectly frozen. 4 out of 4 on a freeze attempt would be if the stones are within 6 inches and perfectly on line.
No, yeah, let's look, for example, now. Cheryl Coleman, this was her stone against Ontario Friday night at the Scott Tournament of Hearts. This is what she called and she made. Now, is that a bonus of 5 or does she get 4? If it's a game winner, you would think, your thought is a 5.
I must admit, I can't remember if she got the 5 or 6 on that one.
That'd be a 6 out of 6, I think.
And there you see the statisticians from the Canadian Curling Association and keeping their eyes on all the sheets and members of the media in front of them.
Wow. The long guard and the come around by Nova Scotia. And a counter attack by Mr. Martin.
Nice shot.
With the intern draw.
Good shot.
So the game's on here now. Ryan Rafuse has the advantage of last rock in this end.
Of course, at the moment, the nice thing about the Alberta situation is the red rock is a little exposed, and the yellow stone they just put in could be promoted onto it. So that's what Nova Scotia have to protect against. They're trying to put something in place to make the come around or the promotion more difficult.
Not now. No, just leave it. As long as it partially buries, it's good. Shot. This is going to be strategy 201 this time.
Kevin is, as we commented in the very beginning of this particular game, Linda's comments were that
what are we doing?
He tries desperately to keep you off balance by changing his approach.
Alberta second, Sean Broda.
There are going to be some rocks in play this end.
No, wait,
Yep. Hurry for line. Lots of weight. Hard for line. Hurry. Okay, we're by. Yep.
Just a tap, trying to tap it back.
Oh, very nice.
Great shot.
I got to figure it out now. I was confused for the longest while this end.
Yeah, they sure do.
Which way do you want to go?
Saskatchewan against British Columbia. That's our featured game in Draw 11 coming your way at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Our first look at this team from Moose Jaw, British Columbia, Barry McPhee at 4-2. From right here in Kamloops, Kamloops Curling Club.
Clean. Yep, yeah, pick.
Oh, yes.
Whoa. Oh, where are we going here? Yep. Had to remember where the rocks were.
Okay.
Okay. Picked.
They were trying to peel that off, actually have the shooter roll off as well. It caught something. That's why it virtually nosed the other stone.
Huh?
It is a red stone up there now, though, that maybe be used to run back into that situation. They see it in the rings.
Nova Scotia does have last rock.
Kevin will play the guard trying to overlap it.
Not really, it's guard weight.
Line's nice. Right on the center line. Clean. Clean. Halfway. Clean.
Nice shot.
Very nice.
Appeal, trying to get them both off.
Dave Slonwhite.
Whoa! Yep! Whoa! Gee.
And he got them both.
Peel weight reared its ugly head there. Didn't you promise never to throw that weight again? Say, didn't you promise never to throw that weight again? That was Peel weight.
The guard.
Alberta line one in position to steal.
Clean. How much has it got? Okay, whoa then.
Trying to think of how many guards.
Are you?
We've seen Don Walchuk play. Not many, I don't think.
No, I don't. I think you're right.
Well,
not
let it
many.
die. Sooner the better.
Just a little closer to the rings
shot.
than they wished. If you drive this one straight back and hit the yellow.
I'd like to hit this side and leave the shooter there.
There's a couple possibilities. You could drive that one straight back onto that one,
Yeah,
hitting
it's
it
a good
on
time to
this
have a
side
chat.
of the stone.
All we want to do
Whoops.
is just tap back and leave the shooter on this side so we wire that thing. So it's almost natural, really.
Right. It's too early.
Because you can't see the nose. I don't want to peel that.
It's too early for this, isn't it? This will all go.
Oh, I know, but no, this would be beautiful, eh? Because you get shot rock and you line up.
Yeah, as long as our shooter stays around, it's helpful. Okay. So just throw him back 4 foot, eh?
Yeah.
There you are.
Definitely the yellows could go as Ray
Yes,
was
I gotta
starting to
save the
draw,
shooter.
but of course the danger would be if you hit them at the wrong angles, then of course the reds might go as well. So they're going to try and rearrange the stones first to get them in a better position as compared to the yellows in the house.
Back ring weight, a back 4 foot weight, moving that rock back.
Kurt Palmer.
Whoa, looks hot.
Yes? Yes?
I don't know. Whoa. We'll just play the angle. Yep. Get over here a bit.
Too much? Yeah, too much weight.
He did set up the angle
He's
on
got
the
the
red
angle
ones.
now, but that's a hack weight almost.
Yeah, a lot of weight, sorry.
Yeah. You're not done.
No, I know.
Oh, okay, good.
You know, like, I like just coming right here.
You don't want to guard their rocks, eh?
I don't really want to guard their rock, no.
Well, I mean,
really.
we gotta, and instead of, I mean, if we come in there, you're basically you're gonna concede him one, right?
Not really. Not if you bump this a hair.
Well,
like,
I mean, what's wrong with us stealing one here?
That's what I'm thinking of. Exactly. Yeah. No. I don't like guarding theirs. That's always scary.
Well, I can tap it, I guess.
You could also blast it. That two's going out of the house. Right on the nose. You throw it at 100 and right on the nose, and they're gone.
Well, I can do that.
Yeah. Well, a little on the outside, but
Huh?
basically it's gone. Sure feel.
You want it out of there?
Yeah, let's get both of them out. Even the shooter can roll out. We got one guard behind the center. That's pretty good. Look at the angle. It's going to jump this way a little even. Give it a go.
They're going to throw at 100 miles an hour at that one there. Hit it on the nose, so they'll sit right there. And this stone here will come off. This is going to go for sure. We know that.
What do you think, Pierre?
And this one here, red one will come off the side of it and go out this way here. And this will be gone, of course.
It's funny to watch Donnie Walchuk go down. He's just all fired up. He loves this. So when you got to get them all out of there, who are you going to call the master blaster? And here he is, Don Walchuk.
Yep.
5, 7, 9. Oh, he's faster. Got them all. And that's the way it's done. Like dynamite, an explosion.
And it's really hard to appreciate how difficult that is to be accurate with that weight. And they line them up, and even the angles look wrong to some people, but they line them up, and they know with that extra weight and spin, they're just all going.
Play the double.
Double's there.
Better not throw that one. This is quite thin.
Nice thin double. Put that rock partially behind the corner guard, and you could be in good shape here. Make Kevin make a run back. Possibly get your blank end out of this too, Linda.
No.
Kurt Palmer.
Whoa. No, 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 never. No, not at all. Just leave it. Okay.
Gee, not pleased with that.
Northern Ontario, Quebec, as they play the 8th. You see Northern Ontario leading 7-6. Final stone. Don Westfall, Buckingham Curling Club. This appears to be a hit for one. And the little inside roll for the single to bite the top of the button for one, and a tie game after 8. Northern Ontario and Quebec. Northern Ontario 0-5, Quebec 4-1.
It's all right. Line's nice.
Line's good. Clean it.
Clean it. Don't lose it.
Clean it.
Clean.
It's over curling. Just clean.
Oh.
Just clean.
Okay, get ready. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, that's good.
Yep.
Okay.
Huh? Need a guard.
It's tempting.
Especially he didn't show me enough of the bad shot.
Ontario has picked up their second win, 11-5 over Saskatchewan.
To get the blank.
Ontario now 2-4 from the Ridgetown Curling Club. Rod Montgomery from Moose Jaw drops to 2-4.
Out-turn draw.
Good draw. Well, no, if I make it, I make it too good.
He
The
said
red's
this was
undercover.
tempting to drive that one
Yeah,
back
I mean, it
onto
would
the
be
red.
a deuce, but this is the
Remove that
easiest way
one.
to get a deuce.
But this is the easiest way, he says, to get a deuce. He thinks trying to draw right in there.
No, I thought about it. It's just that, you know. No, I think the red would stay undercover.
First stone for the Nova Scotia skip, Brian Rafuse, here in 9.
Yeah, it's light.
He has the hammer. Trailing by 1, 5-4.
Line's good.
Hard for line.
Yep.
Hard. Hard for line. Hard. Hard. Hard.
Come on.
Whoa.
Gee, it just touched it. Otherwise, it's absolutely perfect.
Yes, I think it did rub.
Too bad.
It did rub for sure.
Sharp eyes that time.
Seated at that.
That's good.
You can just see by the way the stone changes angle slightly right there. Straightens it a little bit.
As long as he doesn't make the inside roll, that would be pretty, pretty boisterous.
Very, very little.
There,
Yep.
Clean.
Whoa.
Hop.
Whoa.
So draw for one.
Just give me the same ice and I'll just throw it straight.
Okay.
He got that started, he felt.
Nearing the end of this 10th draw, here are all the scores for you.
Don't worry about the guard. I'll throw a straight one. That's in the ice.
So our featured game tonight will feature, British Columbia 4-2 against Saskatchewan 2-4 after their loss.
Line's real
Line's
good.
okay.
Whoa, I think whoa.
Whoa, lots of room.
Looking to tie it here in 9.
Clean.
Clean it.
Yes.
No.
All right, just clean then. Clean. Okay, whoa, off now, off.
Back 4 for the single point for Nova Scotia in 9, and it means that Kevin Martin will come home tied and have last draw against
the Barry there.
The man
I
from
guess
Bridgewater.
You were trying for the hit and roll with your last
Brian Rafuse.
Yeah, kind of. Only the other way.
Yeah.
No, on a rack.
That was my...
Natural ability can only take you so far. Equipment counts for a lot. I'm always checking out new ideas. You have to stay competitive. That's what I like about Pert Plus. Cleans and conditions in one step. No messing with 2 bottles. I get great results. No hassle, no fuss. Eventually, we all cross the finish. The winners just find a better way to get there.
Pert Plus, great hair, no fuss. A pretty important invention. Just try living without it. But sometimes it just doesn't leave you feeling clean enough. Maestro, let's demonstrate. See what I mean? These are new Cottonelle Moist Wipes. You use them after you use this. And they leave you feeling cleaner. Or clean. They have soothing aloe and they're flushable. So if you want your family to feel fresher, cleaner, just better, this is one invention you won't want to live without.
New Cottonelle Moist Wipes. Advanced personal hygiene from Cottonelle.
The fact is, all cars are targets for car theft. New cars may have a higher value, but older cars can bring in big cash for their parts. So if you're not using the club, you're inviting a thief to steal your car. Stop. Don't fall prey to car theft. Get the club. Statistics show that the club is over 99% effective in reducing auto theft. Protect your vehicle from theft with the club. Now available in a variety of highly visible colors.
Hey, pocket lovers! Introducing new McCain Deli Lovers Pizza Pockets to set you on your jet. Let's go, pocket lovers! McCain made them just for you. They made them with their best, so they taste a cut above the rest. Seasoned beef, salami, 2 pepperonis, Canadian bacon, and more in a crust that's baked, not fried, so there's no leaks, no mess. McCain Deli Lovers Pizza Pockets! The new taste to set you on your jet.
Last year it was Carrie Burtnick who will win the Labatt Brier Tankard this year in Kamloops, BC. Midway through and coming up in draw 11. Don't want to put the pressure on, but certainly you'd have to think it's a must-win for Saskatchewan and the team from Moose Jaw. Rod Montgomery now 2-4 will go against Barry McPhee. Yeah, I know it's disappointing. Look at all these people. Look at the curling. It's a great time. Labatt Brier at the Riverside Coliseum. And Jeff Stoughton's son. His dad among the leaders going in, tied at
We don't
with
need to
Alberta
bury any of these, eh?
at 5 and
You know,
1.
just throw a tee
with
line
the afternoon off.
wide open, let them play on it.
Okay.
No, because that makes it harder, yeah. Yeah, because these guys are going to be firing rockets at whatever's in the rings.
Trying to move the center line guard off. Nicely positioned right on center line is the Nova Scotia stone, and Don Bartlett's trying to throw just heavy draw weight. Doesn't look like it's going to curl enough.
Is it through? All right.
One
No,
steal
that's
so
clean.
far this game for Nova Scotia. They need another.
Well, it's a great indication of the free guard zone rule. You can't remove that center line guard from play. You can try and tick it as they tried. Now at least you have the one rock out in front, so Brian Rafuse will go to the rings, and then you heard him say it doesn't even have to be in the, it doesn't have to be buried, just someplace around the 4-foot. Especially against this team, you don't want to be playing another one up front because they get the double peel so easy. So this is the shot. This is the call. You want this in the rings as far as it'll go. Look for a separation.
Great shot.
Shot.
The whole key for Nova Scotia is to get the rocks placed someplace in the rings where Kevin will hit them, and keep that center guard out there so that you can try and bury one perfectly with your last.
Don Bartlett.
And he wants to roll out here.
And will.
So it's up to Nova Scotia to keep putting them back in the 4-foot and making it tempting to go after the stone in the house.
Stealing a point on a team like Kevin's was very difficult before the rule, and it's still hard, but it's not as hard because you do get that one rock out front. Pressure, of course, on your leads to make sure they get it there. In this case, it's perfectly placed.
Room.
Dave Slonwhite.
I don't think so. Just T-line, no more.
It's there.
No, that's T-line. In the game, maybe it isn't.
He's there.
That's a good
shot.
Good shot.
Peeking at the game between Newfoundland and Prince Edward Island as we play the ninth. Newfoundland leading 5-4. This is the last stone of the end for Newfoundland and Frank O'Driscoll. And now the final stone, hammer, belongs to PEI. We'll get back there in a second. Sean Broda.
So it was placed in the ring so well that Kevin ran off the front one, as you could see, and now Brian will try and throw up the guard on the center line.
No.
No room for mistake here now.
And in the bottom left, Peter McDonald throwing his last rock. He's trying to tap the shot stone that belongs to Newfoundland, and he'll get 2.
His third Grant Summers.
And this is the guard
Line looks
attempt,
real
of
good.
course, for Nova Scotia.
Out a bit. Come on, come on. Come on. Come on.
No, it'll come. It'll come. It'll come. It's a good one. That's good.
As we follow Peter McDonald and his final stone, looking for 2 here in 9
Clean.
and a 1-point lead.
Clean. Clean only. You got lots of room.
Nice shot for PEI.
To take the lead 6-5, Peter McDonald gives up last rock to Frank O'Driscoll coming home.
Kurt's had a little problem with draw weight, being heavy a few times, so
leave it.
I want to make sure you get this one out in front.
Okay. Just clean. It's going to get there.
Looks like a pretty good shot.
Just clean. No, not hard. It's going to curl.
Shot.
Pretty tough to run that back.
Yeah.
Feel it.
Peel. You heard him say peel it.
Northern Ontario against Quebec as they play 9 of a 7-7 tie. And team from Timmins, Dave McInnes trying to maintain control of last rock and will do so. So he'll have Hammer coming home against Don Westfall in a 7-7 tie. Don Walchuk.
Alberta waiting for one attempt, perhaps, that isn't a good guard, and they might go after the one in the house. One in the house for Nova Scotia is a very good stone in the top of the button area. Those are the kind you hate to leave if you can get at them.
Uh-oh.
Can you assist me? I'm having technical problems.
Uh-oh, he lost his transmitter.
Cameraman Peter
yeah,
Bradley.
I thought it might have been something worse than that, actually. I didn't know
Helping
what.
Kurt
but-
Palmer as his transmitter.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now Peter back to
I almost said hi to the
audio
folks back
assist
home
to
before that
cameraman.
draw against 7.
Thanks, Peter. Do it all.
Line's good.
Threw the perfect guard last time.
It'll curl.
A lot of room, guys. Just at the
It'll
end.
over curl if anything.
Whoa. Whoa, wait there.
Yeah, not too close. They'll bang it. They're soon starting to think about that.
Brennan Jewell from Regina off the internet. Is it acceptable to throw takeouts by lifting the rock and draws by not lifting?
Well, it's certainly acceptable to throw the rock any way you so desire, and you see with Wayne Madaw, for example, who swings the stone when he throws the big weight and uses no backswing when he is drawing.
There's one example of a big swing to get the big weight.
Don Walchuk.
Trying the run through. Oh, that's the worst scenario. That's what you don't want on the run through.
Try.
Nice try, Kevin says. Well, you made the point earlier a few moments ago, Linda, that the rock on the button is so well placed that Kevin pretty well had to try that run through to get it off that button. And they threw some perfect guards, so they tried to run through, it didn't work.
Overcurl, but I can't.
So now what you want to do is get that guard right out in this area.
Later, if I come deep, I can take away the raised kill. No, it's just a regular guard. Just an average everyday guard. Next time, we'll try to make it better.
Good thought process, Brian.
Overlapping them just a bit is a key here.
Just a guard, he said. You want to try and avoid them being able to run them both off, but even if they do run them both off, you get a chance to guard it perfectly. It's the rock on the button that's placed so nicely.
Yep, gotta go.
Not too deep. Not too deep. Good shot.
Just about where your circle was, I think.
We'll try the run through again now. He's got to, if you could have just overlapped it a bit, so you could have taken the run through away from him, Vic, as you mentioned.
Oh, boy. It's got to be the best bet, I guess.
Yeah. Got this one, I think. Yes, sir.
He's made a lot of those shots even this week.
The compliment from Brian Rafuse as well.
Good shot.
Bad news is it doesn't get no easier yet.
That's right.
Two thirds up.
But you got that draw was so well placed on the button, and
that was a nice shot.
Brian can get it there again, but
I'm not going to get real crazy. Like, show him half a rock, he's going to be thinking about it.
What he means is he's not playing it too tightly to the guards. He doesn't want to risk rubbing on the guards, so he's making sure he has enough ice to get by, even if he shows a corner of this stone in the house.
T-line. Clean. Yes, line. Room. 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 Off. Off. No, he's hot.
Settle down. Settle down. Sit.
Where will it settle?
Well, he wanted it in front of the tee line. Now Kevin can just follow it down. The run through was a great shot.
Jeez, that looked good.
Yep. Yep. Buried it. Dandy.
I'll tell you, that's quicker up there.
Is it?
Yeah, you might have a little trouble with that.
All right.
I'll sweep it on over there.
Okay.
Does Brian think that he just said it's a little different out there. Kevin could have a little problem. You agree with him?
Well, you know, Brian has had a lot more draws, I think, than Kevin's had, that's for sure, so he'd have a better feel for draw weight. But he put that rock on the top of the 4-foot, now it's a different matter.
I think, dude, Linda's just asking about numbers. Alberta has out-curled Nova Scotia 91% to 82 so far. They're in a 5-tie. I don't think Kevin, considering the way his team has played, expected to be in this position.
Am I warm?
No, Nova Scotia have made the right one.
Pretty good, guys. Stay close.
Just T-line.
Trying for the single and the win to go to 6-1. Now Don Bartlett, Sean Broda being urged. Here comes Don Walchuk. They got it there.
Thanks. Good luck. Thank you very much. Good luck. Good luck. Great game. Good luck. Good luck to you.
Alberta will get one. And they go to 6-1. A win over Nova Scotia here in Draw 10.
Can have an anxiety.
Karcher pressure washers. Blast away dirt and grime fast. From your car, boat, patio furniture, bikes, your deck, barbecue, eaves troughs, and recreational vehicles. Just about anything. Karcher, the fast and easy way to handle any top cleaning job.
We make maple leaf wieners for Courtney, who will only eat Mr. Broccoli if he hasn't touched Mr. Gravy. We make maple leaf wieners for Tim, who says peas explode in his mouth. And for Caitlin, whose scrambled eggs must be shaped like little boats. Maple leaf wieners have a taste made especially for kids. For Kenny, who won't eat anything with sauce, and Jason, who won't eat anything without sauce, there will always be maple leaf.
Owning a home today in this economic environment.
This home is the one we're going to stay in the rest of our lives.
I think you feel very fortunate if you do own one. When we think about renewing our mortgage, we're not that great at it. That's what we look to the bank for, because you want to make sure that you make the right decision.
To see how you can be home free faster, get expert help, the right plan, and guaranteed competitive rates. See your CIBC personal banker or call now.
We'd have a bit of a barn burner when the mortgage is paid off.
At CIBC, we're working to see what you see.
Imagine hearing the call of the road, not the road itself. Imagine the world at your fingertips. Imagine an automobile so precisely engineered, it feels as if it were formed from a single piece of steel. Imagine a choice of sedan or wagon for the same price. Introducing the all-new 1996 Mercury Sable. Could you imagine anything better?
Imagine yourself in a Mercury.
Now it's time for the TSN Turning Point.
Well, Nova Scotia fought their way back, had one in the 10th and in perfect position, so it's the Kevin Martin run back that opens up the house and gives him a chance to get to the forfeit with his last one. The run back is definitely the turning point in this game.
As Alberta goes on to a 6-5 win.
Kevin, that was a terrific running game for us to watch and for the viewers across the country to see. It was nip and tuck all the way. Brian played very well.
Oh, it was great. What a great guy to curl against, too. You know, a real gentleman, and shooting 90 or whatever he shot, that doesn't hurt either.
Well, our turning point shot was the run-through that you made, because they had that rock on the button placed so well.
Yeah, well, they played the whole end perfect. You know, we missed the chisel, which is very difficult to make anyway, and then they put every rock perfect after that. So we had to make a run back eventually, or else we lose.
Well, Kevin, thank you very much once again. You always provide us with lots of entertainment. Thank you, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, Ray. I'd like to say hi to Kark and Coliseum, though. Thanks, Ray.
Clark and Coliseum, Kevin and Shauna's two children. Back home in Edmonton, Alberta now at 6-1 will have the night off, and they'll watch Manitoba and Jeff Stout and try to get in back to a lead for first place. Manitoba to play Northern Ontario as we watch the 10th end Newfoundland PEI. Franco Driscoll 4-1 starting the day, lost this morning to Manitoba, and now trailing here, Linda.
Trailing but with last rock, and so there's 2 rocks remaining, and he's trying to decide how to generate those winning points, looking at perhaps freezing on the back one. I think they're looking at finally the freeze, trying to decide if there was perhaps a shot where they may want to make a play on that, but I think definitely the freeze attempt is the better one.
Newfoundland does have hammer here, trailing by 1. This man, Peter McDonald, has he been on fire? Lost his first 3. Rattled off 3 straight now to put himself in some contention.
No line. No line, guys. Where's it? Line's good. Whoa. Line's fine. Line's real good. Whoa. Whoa.
These freeze shots, of course, are where the communication is so important. You need to have perfect line and weight to get the freeze. This one's curling. Great weight, just over curled.
And then, of course, if you tried to brush it to hold the line, then you may have lost the freeze attempt.
They would tap it, and then there'd be separation, and it could be removed anyways.
Are you in a situation then just to let it do what they did, let it finish? At least he's got a corner of it now.
Yeah, it was too bad. It's cornered the wrong way. He has to play at it with this outside in turn. If he had to try and get at it, perhaps squeezing it by the other Yellowstone top 4, it might be harder. So it's just angled the wrong way. It just didn't work out for Newfoundland.
Well, the numbers, 65% difficult because we haven't watched the game and the kind of shots that he's been forced to play, but if you saw 65%, you wouldn't think he'd be leading, playing 10. Final stone for Prince Edward Island.
Whoa. Whoa. Matt. Whoa. Matt. Whoa. Whoa.
Kills his stone at the back and line 2.
Leaves the same shot for Newfoundland. They have the last stone and can come down just to the face of that shot rock to get their point and tie the game.
I always find it remarkable how it always gets a little hushed. Final stone for Newfoundland. Frank O'Driscoll for his single to tie it, to force the extra end.
Sweepers called out that it had a little extra weight.
Little. It has a lot. And O'Driscoll and Newfoundland will give up 2 to Prince Edward Island. It's an 8-5 win for PEI. My goodness, Prince Edward Island has won 4 straight.